after he hit a man on a moped while intoxicated while he was off duty. It causes the man to lose his lower leg, which was amputated on Monday, according to these charges that were filed on Wednesday. 44-year-old Chris Murray had a blood alcohol limit of .096. That is slightly over the legal limit in Missouri of .08. Murray is charged with DUI and second-degree assault. A developer's plan to build 470 homes west of Lake St. Louis hit a stumbling block on Wednesday as the county's zoning board was split on approving the 250-acre development, which is across from Timberland High School. The plans for trailside farms will continue to be reviewed and debated by the county zoning officials. In sports, the Blue Jays came out swinging in Seattle. Toronto pounded the Mariners in the ALCS 13-4. The Mariners still lead that series 2-1, Game 4 tonight at 7. The NLCS resumes tonight in L.A. The Dodgers up 2-0 on the Brewers. Sorry about that. The Blues, they returned home last night. They started a 4-game homestand, and the Blackhawks absolutely hammered the Blues 8-3. Backup goalie Joel Hofer gave up 7 of those goals. Next up will be Dallas on Saturday night, face-off at 6 p.m. It is 5:05 and 60 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
A nice start this morning, but we have another October warm-up this afternoon, much like yesterday. Sunshine, 83 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, 61. Friday, partly sunny, back to 83, 84 degrees. Some showers moving in after midnight Friday night. Saturday, showers, a few thunderstorms. A beneficial rain for the Saturday. 78 for the high. Sunday, partly sunny, and fall returns. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
5:06, 60 degrees. Don't forget, you can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you anytime, anywhere. All you need to do is go out and download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Hey, happy Thursday. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. That would be me. I'm Mark, right here down in the lower corner of your screen if you're watching on any of the socials this morning. We got Dan Buck in here. He's back. Thanks to Scott J. Gal for filling in yesterday. Thanks to both of them for filling in while Kim is home taking care of that new baby. Ethan Bright here as well. So we appreciate having you in. Dan, how are you?
I am good. Kind of like a Friday for you, though, because you're going to be off tomorrow.
Yeah.
And throwing me to the fire.
We appreciate that, my friend.
Yes, there you go.
I hate to do that to you, but we have a college visit to make.
Fun.
And we're going to try to squeeze that in during my daughter's fall break. If you can believe it's fall break already.
I didn't even know what a fall break was. Remember, you got Thanksgiving. That was
we
about
didn't
it.
do that
No.
when we were young, did we? I don't know
No
where this came
fall
from.
Break. Is that something seniors get, or does everybody get a
No,
fall
the
break?
entire school gets a fall break.
It's like 4 days.
Well, it's just they give you a Monday and a Friday.
Okay.
Friday and a Monday, I should
All
say.
right, well, that's not bad. The teachers, too,
I
get
guess,
off?
yeah,
That's
I think
nice.
so.
All right, well, teachers getting a break is okay. Kids don't need a break,
You didn't
though.
start to school until the middle of August, and here you are off already.
I mean, remember, we started all the time on Labor Day, right? And we never got a fall break. Christmas break was only like from Christmas, the day before Christmas, and then January 2nd you were back in.
Yeah.
Right? So you got about a week there. But
Now it's 2 full weeks, just about. Yeah.
And Easter, depending on where it fell, you didn't always get the full week. Sometimes you only got like you got Good Friday and the weekend.
Uh-huh.
Spring break was always, 4 or 5 days for us maybe at the most?
It was a week. Yeah,
Did you
usually
get a
week.
full week?
Yeah.
Okay. But I played baseball, so we never got off.
I'll
Everybody
never
else
forget
would be
that.
traveling, and I was on the baseball team, and of course we played mostly through our spring break. So
That led to a lot of bad feelings. Can I just tell you that? Because I remember specifically my buddy telling me that he couldn't go with us on spring break, and he was so mad at the coach. But the coach told him, like, even if you aren't here next week, you're off the team. So
yeah, you're staying.
And and I guess I could understand if you're the if you've committed to the team, you need to be there. So, but they ought to warn you before the season starts. Don't you think?
Yeah, the only great part I ever got was in college. The only spring break I ever got to enjoy was in college. I was a red shirt.
Yeah.
I had a red shirt year when I transferred from an NAI to SIU Edwardsville, and I had to sit out a year. Well, the team went, and red shirts don't go on the away trips. They went on a spring swing. I actually got to go to Daytona Beach.
Nice.
As a college kid, it was awesome. It was
Those were the days, man. Daytona was a lot different
yeah,
back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than it is these days, for sure. So looking at the weekend here coming up, it looks like a pretty decent couple of days today and tomorrow, and then Saturday it's going to be a rain out. And Dan, you won't remember this probably, but the last time they had one of these No Kings protests, it was my burning desire to go down there and walk down the line of these people and just with my Trump shirt on and listen to them, yell at me and cuss at me and try to engage with a couple of them. Like, I don't need to get in a fight with you. What is it you're so mad about? What about reducing crime and taxes and the size of government irritates you so badly? What about world peace that irritates you so badly? What is it that you dislike so much about what's going on? You want to go have those conversations, but I drive down there. I've got my my Trump 2024 flag flying off the side of my car, and it was pouring rain that day. I'll never forget that. I got down there on Manchester Road near Wideman, and I thought to myself, I am not going to get out of the car and get soaking wet just to engage with this bunch of idiots. So I didn't do it. And then, of course, that was the last No Kings
thing. Did the idiots show up?
Oh, there were plenty of them out there in their rain gear, holding their flags, trying to screw up traffic, basically. And Saturday's going to be a repeat of that.
That's great.
They're all going to show up at all these protests across the country. And in the middle of the country, from Springfield, Missouri, all the way up through southern Illinois and central Illinois, there's a huge front moving through here Saturday that there's like an 80% chance of rain and a decent chance of thunderstorms.
And it looks like it's like an all-day thing, too.
Yeah.
It doesn't like move through like some fronts do. And
breaks my
you're
heart.
Done in an hour. This is supposed to be like a 6-hour
soaking rain.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you should just consider that maybe a higher power is trying to send you a message here. This is the second time you've done this nonsense, and the second time you're going to get soaked like a rag doll while you're out there.
Well,
just so you know.
To your point, what is it exactly do they think? And then they go, oh, it's the authoritarian. I'm like, really? Authoritarian? Walk me through that. Like, what new law has he brought on, right? He's enforcing existing laws, but what exactly has this tyrant of your imagination done that makes him appear to be a king?
I don't know.
Or an authoritarian. Oh, because he did executive orders? Oh, you mean Obama, who did 200 executive orders in his second term? I mean,
yep.
Come on. And his executive orders in many cases are just kind of like common sense. Women shouldn't, have to compete against men.
Well, that irritates
sports.
them too, because they don't support women as much as they've always claimed to support women.
Yeah.
They want the ERA amendment passed, but they don't support because they can't tell you what a woman is. So that's
right.
At the end of the day, they don't support women. I have to tell you, Stephen Miller is one of my favorite characters in the Trump administration.
Oh, he's great.
Because he just slices and dices them on this. Yesterday, he went after J.B. Pritzker, and it was absolutely a classic.
Epic.
Did you see it?
I did. Oh, my
God. Listen to what he said last night about J.B. Pritzker, because it's the same question we've been asking for a while. When I've suggested your response to them should be, what's your number? Like, how many people being murdered every year is okay with you?
Right.
Because it should be zero. But what is it for you? Listen to what Miller had to say last night on Sean Hannity's show.
Well, I mean, he's a fool and he's a moron, but also, most importantly, Sean, he hates America. And let's just be honest about it. You can't love your country and then fight President Trump to keep murderers murdering. Just think about that for a second. President Trump is saying, let us work with you, with the FBI, with ICE, with ATF, with DEA, with the National Guard to stop the murdering in your city. And Pritzker is saying he wants to protect the murderers, the people that are shooting dozens and dozens of people every single week. Chicago is more dangerous than Baghdad. It's more dangerous than Mexico City. So shame on Pritzker, and God bless President Trump for fighting for the citizens of this country, Sean.
Yeah, beautiful. Just beautiful. And it's, it's not an original thought. We're all like, what are you defending? But I love the fact that he got to get on a national platform and point that out. And it sticks in the craw. Can anything stick in Pritzker's craw? Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. I just don't know. All right.
I don't know if you could find his craw.
I've run over again. Ethan, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
Are we in for a sustained trade war with China?
Well, you're in one now. Look, we have 100% tariff. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be exposed as being a nothing. We would have no defense.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and it's a tool that needs to be in the president's toolbox. When they had the debate over this in the United States Supreme Court, President Trump has announced he will be there in the audience listening. That's unprecedented, but he's breaking a lot of these barriers, and I'm glad to see it.
Well, some people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
Who? Please tell me. Whoever said you were I'll bet you Hillary Clinton threw a lamp at her TV when those words came out of Kamala Harris's mouth yesterday. Can you imagine?
I mean, in vanity.
They want to give, who knows, billions of tax dollar payer money to illegals. They want to put illegals on health care. You can't get more mixed up than that. And then they wonder why, in case after case, in election after election, they just keep losing.
Yep. Josh Hawley last night talking about the insanity of this continued shutdown. Here we are in day 16.
I'm going to do exactly what Charlie did. My plan is to, give a little speech, talk a little bit about the issues of the day, but turn most of it over to just do Q&A with the audience. I actually want to hear from these kids. I want to answer questions from them. I want to do what Charlie did.
Yeah, you go, J.D. Vance. Glad to hear that he's going to show up to an event there with Erica Kirk to represent Charlie, and good for him. You have to have that dialogue. That's why I just want to go have some dialogue with those No Kings protesters. You have to have dialogue. And here I've got Scoot on the Facebook page this morning accusing me of wanting to clamp down on the First Amendment. You know what? If you're dumb enough to go stand in the rain for 4 hours on Saturday, God bless you, as they'd say in the South. God bless you.
And wait a minute, Scooter. What exactly did Mark say to say they didn't have the right to protest?
Peaceful protest is our right in America. I have no problem with you protesting, but I can challenge you on your beliefs.
But that just shows, some liberals love to hear what they want to hear, right? They hear things differently than what the truth really was. You never once this morning said these people did not have the right to go out and protest. You just said you'd like to go down and talk to them and engage with them.
Yeah. I know.
Right? Hey, more power to you. You want to go stand in the rain, knock yourself out. Right.
Knock yourself out and go complain about some non-existent king. Please, please, and you'll have the government shutdown to complain about as well. The Schumer shutdown continues.
America's waking up. They are not buying this anymore.
I think you're right.
I really do.
I think
do too. I think there's a ton of liberals who are saying enough is enough. You guys are so TDS driven. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of liberals with TDS.
That's true.
Right? But I think a lot are waking up. I really do.
We're a long way from the midterm, but I really have a feeling that is not going to go the way Chucky and Hakeem are thinking. All right, quick break here. Well, let's get to our national anthem right now.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Oh, good morning to you. Things look great on the roads at this hour. No delays out there on the Illinois side, and we look good on the Missouri side as well. There was a little bit of a slowdown on westbound 70 just west of Wentzville due to some road work, but it really, in general, looks good. If something comes up, I'll let you know. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, Jai, you may hear me mention all the time my friends at Hanson's Tree Service, great individuals out there. Chad runs a great group of people. He really does. And the arborists are just beyond compare. I am so impressed with anybody who's got a green thumb, but these arborists are like tree doctors. Let them come to your yard. Just take a look around. My guess is they're going to see a lot of things that you don't see when you look at your yard. Maybe dealing with the health of your shrubs. They can set up a plant healthcare strategy for you. They can look at trees that are going to need to be pruned. We're getting into the time of year when it's a great time to do that because very soon your grass, all that stuff's going to go dormant. Once that happens, it's much easier for them to get heavy equipment in if they need to get a tree out of your backyard without doing any serious damage to your grass because the grass is not actively growing at that point. So if you have a situation like that, it's the time to call them right now at Hanson's Tree Service and let them get out there and see what needs to be done and get that work scheduled. Call them at 636-379-1830. They can do mulch. They can deliver it to your driveway in most cases. If you're trying to get some mulch down on the ground prior to the colder weather getting here, this is the time to do it. 379-1830 or online at hansonstree.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, I often tell my boss, Dan, I tell Steve Moore, here's the deal. I am not only a host on this radio station, I'm a P1 for this radio station, right? It's my primary, it's on my radio all the time, unless for some reason I've got some reason to switch over to listen to a football game that's not on our frequency or something like that. I'm almost always listening. So yesterday I'm driving around. I've got to get my mom from the hospital to a skilled nursing rehab unit, and I'm driving along. I'm doing just fine, except I find that I'm just a little bit hungry. And then Sue's News comes on, the Mark Reardon Show.
Okay.
And they start playing this song because of what yesterday happened to be. Listen to this.
If you've heard of Wisconsin, you've heard of our cheese. Cheese tasting so good, it's sure to please. I can't say enough, 'cause it's really good stuff. Wisconsin cheese, may I have some, please?
So yesterday was apparently National Cheese Curd Day.
Very important day.
Sue Thomas, she's talking about this with Reardon, who, of course, spent time in Wisconsin, and he's a big cheese curd fan, although he couldn't describe to you what cheese curds were.
No, he could
That
not.
surprised me a little bit. Because I've been to Wisconsin a few times, and in every store you walk into, when you cross the border in Wisconsin, there's Spotted Cow beer and there's cheese curds.
Yep.
Some of them are deep fried. Some of them you can just get in a little vacuum sealed package that you can open up and eat.
Yeah, I can't do those. The fried.
Oh, they're
So-
killer.
so-
And doesn't Culver's have it?
Well, they do.
Yes.
To my
Yes.
point here, so they mentioned that, right? So I'm driving around. I've got Mom, and Mom says, I'm kind of hungry. Well, right next to her place where she lives now, there's a DQ.
Okay.
And I said, let me pull through the DQ here. I wasn't thinking about the cheese curds at the moment, but I pulled through the DQ to get her a chicken sandwich. And I look on the menu, and lo and behold, they have cheese curds at DQ. I knew they had them at Culver's. I didn't remember that they had them at DQ.
Never knew that either.
Got myself a box of those and snapped a picture and sent it to Sue and said, you have inspired me to get fat today, because God knows what the calorie count was in that little box of cheese curds. I just can't imagine.
Radio advertising works, doesn't it?
See,
Even
I'm
though,
telling you.
No, I'm telling you. Because especially on the drive home, if you just talk about anything that's edible, I'm liable to pull over and get it. So I get it.
In the morning, we talk about food, but nothing's open. So that's
Right.
That's
You're
more
much
of
safer.
That's more of a problem.
How were they, by the way?
They were delicious.
Were
Like,
they?
I
had
didn't
them
know
there.
what to expect from DQ, but quite honestly, I've been there a few times and grabbed a chicken sandwich for Mom or a burger because she's right next door. And their food was surprisingly good. Well, it was better than I expected, because I usually think of them for an ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, the fact that you pulled over to get those was hilarious, so thank you for sending that. And second of all, that song is so ridiculous, I don't know that that would inspire anything, but just talking about it makes you go, ooh, dang it, that sounds good.
To think that they actually put out a song about this.
Right.
Listen.
Ellsworth is the cheese curd capital. Ellsworth. Ellsworth is the cheese curd capital of the world.
No.
Right? It's really deep lyrics.
So full credit to the Mark Reardon Show for having that gem of a song that
I'm
I
gonna
could
be singing that all
steal
day
this
in my
morning.
head.
Cheese curds.
Ellsworth? Yeah.
Yeah. So
And where exactly is Ellsworth?
I have no idea.
look it
idea?
up on a map. No.
Because my brother lives in Kenosha. I go up there. I would like to stop at the cheese capital of the cheese curd capital of the world.
I used to just a side note. I used to have relatives. Well, I still have relatives that live in Wisconsin, but they used to run the largest domestic maple syrup production factory in the country, just outside of Wausau, and not far from Wausau. I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ellsworth
How about that?
appears to be, Dan, a little bit east and south of Minneapolis. So it's pretty far up there.
Oh, it's the western part of the state.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Sue, thank you.
Oh, yes.
All right, back with Dan's segment. Buck, don't give a bleep right after this.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
All right, did you know that cardiovascular disease is the leading killer worldwide, and it affects men every day, and most don't take good enough care of themselves. My friends at Victory Men's Health realize that, and now as part of their overall care plan for men, because that's what they do, they offer cardiovascular screening. With the local cardiologist that works with them, you can get that. You can order the test, and then it gets read by the cardiologist. Just one more thing they do and have done for me at Victory Men's Health in the years I've been going there. It's great. They routinely take a blood test. They check the blood panel. They find out if you're low in I don't know, magnesium or vitamin B12 or whatever they need to boost in your system. They can do that. If it's testosterone, they can deal with it. If it's your sexual health problems you're having, they can deal with it right in the office. Set your appointment today. 4 great locations. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
More banks and tech companies are reporting earnings today. Bank of New York Mellon, Charles Schwab, KeyCorp, and M&T Banks, along with U.S. Bancorp and Taiwan Semiconductor. Shah Galani, chief investment strategist at Manward Press, remains optimistic about markets moving higher.
Do I think we're in a bit of a bubble? Yeah, I think there are sectors in the AI narrative where companies aren't going to produce or be able to monetize their AI spending, but the market's looking past that, looking to the big names, looking to the leadership group that is propelling markets higher. So we've got a lot higher to go, I think, through year end.
There's another update on the housing market today. The National Association of Home Builders releases its readings for October. Also, Fed officials are speaking today. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
Rising debt, stock market swings, and global shocks can affect your retirement. But even in this economy, there's still opportunity. Protect your retirement with a secure, tax-advantaged gold IRA. Instead of leaving a 401k or IRA at the mercy of markets, hold physical gold or silver. Real protection for your future. And Noble Gold makes it simple. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com and chat with a specialist. The conversation is free, and the peace of mind is priceless. NobleGoldInvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investment.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we are off to a good start on the roads this morning. Looking pretty good out there. And if you are northbound on 55, things look great. This is multiple construction zones, but things are still in good shape. Quiet on the Illinois side as well. On 6440 this morning at 6 a.m. in the city, they're going to close a lane eastbound on 64 between 22nd Street and the Poplar Street Bridge. And again, they'll pick that up at 2, so it should be fine by rush hour tonight. Also at 9 a.m. until 3 p.m., they'll close a westbound lane on 64 between the Poplar Street Bridge and 22nd Street. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
All right, let's talk about the Range St. Louis West and what they can do for you. I'm telling you, unparalleled training in the St. Louis area as far as I'm concerned because they're active in it. When you go and look at the list of classes you can take at the Range, you're going to be blown away. I'll guarantee there's something that fits your need. If you love your Second Amendment and you go out and you like to shoot guns on occasion, maybe it's a self-defense class. Maybe for you or a kid you've got that's going away to college, just extra awareness, situational awareness, things like that. They've got so much to offer at the Range St. Louis West, and I highly suggest you check out their website, therangestl.com. Here's another great thing. You can win a free basic handgun skills class right now by going to their website, therangestl.com/971. Enter your name. It's a 5-hour-long class. It's valued at $135, and I took the class. It's fantastic. Vinny was a great instructor. They offer female instructors as well. If you're a lady who wants to take that class with just other women, they'll do that for you. But it takes people who never picked up a gun before, and by the end of the class, they're in the range in the basement actually shooting one. So I think it's fantastic. Enter your name today. Go pay them a visit, 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin, or enter your name at therangestl.com/971. Halloween is just around the corner, but don't ghost your carpet this fall. Let Zero Res bring out the very best. Marc Cox here for my friends at Zero Res. They've got a great special for October. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129. That's a $40 savings. Plus, you can get 15% off air duct and dryer vent cleaning. That's impressive. If there's anything scarier than ghosts or goblins, it's probably hiding in your air ducts. Right now, this month, you can get 15% off. Get that cleaned up, and don't miss a deal like this. It could haunt you, if you'll excuse me for that one. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google, over 5,900 reviews. So schedule your appointment with ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020. Tell them you want the 97.1 FM Talk special. It's Zero Res. Spell it backward or forward, it spells the same.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. Fraud and scams can strike anyone. My office works to ensure that Missouri is free from deception and unfair practices. Last year, we handled over 65,000 consumer complaints and returned more than $400 million to Missourians. If you've been a victim of fraud, call 800-392-8222 or visit ago.mo.gov.
Paid for by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
If you're trying to sell your home, there's only one group of agents in town I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers. 314-336-1991. Check out thegelmanteam.com.
Your voice, your values. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative. But don't give a f***.
Well, it is Thankful Thursday, and I also missed yesterday, so I didn't get my Warrior Woman Wednesday segment in. So this one, kills both of those stones. All right, this one is
both of those birds you mean with one stone?
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah.
It kills both those birds with one stone. That's what I meant. I'm so grateful that there are moms out there fighting the good fight, whether it be at school board meetings, whether it be just bold enough, because they catch flack, when they're out there on social media and they're promoting Christian conservative values. They are getting, people are unfollowing them, but there just seems like since Charlie Kirk, more and more women are showing up on my feed, just getting after it and having fun. This woman, I love her, man. She has bold beliefs, a conservative conviction. I want to honor her. Her name is Roxanne. You're going to find her on Facebook at Roxanne Unwoke Woman. Or I'm sorry, Unwoke Mom. Roxanne Unwoke Mom, and she is talking about the shutdown and the left's refusal to pay our military during the shutdown, threatening the president actually with a lawsuit if he tries to pay the military, while, oh, by the way, all the congressmen are still being paid.
What's wrong with these people?
That's right. Here's Roxanne, the Roxanne Unwoke Mom.
I'm not arguing with you guys because this is no longer a shutdown. This is a hostage situation. Wait, they want to sue him for paying military members during a government shutdown. To every Democrat and liberal out there, why the do you guys stand by this?
She does
so
cuss
they're out
every
here
now and then.
fighting for health care for illegal immigrants, but they want to sue the Trump administration for paying for military members' salaries during a shutdown. No, you know what? This isn't a shutdown. This is a hostage situation, because give us what we want or else. Shouldn't it be America first? Shouldn't we be worried about paying our military members, the ones who are out there keeping us safe? But no, they want to make sure that military members don't get paid. They are asking, well, where's all this random money from the tariffs coming from to keep the women and infant children's program open? So wait a minute, you mean to tell me that you guys knew exactly what was going on, you knew exactly how much money was there, and yet you just want to make sure that gets allocated to illegal immigrants? But for what? Oh, I think we all know. You guys are losing voters by the day. Every single thing that comes out, like, I don't know, peace in the Middle East, that he is solving for you guys are losing voters. You are losing people on your side. And now you're desperate that you have to go and create voters.
Wow. Love her. She nails it every day, too.
Absolutely.
She's always current, too. Whatever's the topic of the day, she's on it. She does post about daily, at least 5-6 times a week. She's only got 12,000, which is surprising, 12,000 visitors on Facebook, but her real platform where she's having just a ton of success, over 260,000 people following her on TikTok. TikTok, yes.
The Chinese own TikTok.
Well,
not for long.
Soon to be American owned. That's right. But anyway, you can find her on TikTok, I believe. Let me get her handle over there. I think it's on that Facebook post that I just had. I lost it. I'll get you that. But she is on, if you put it, I think it's Rocks, ROX, in real time. So Rocks in real time is where you'll find her on TikTok.
Oh, I love that she's calling them out for their lies. It is a hostage situation.
It is.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And the hostage that they're using is illegal immigrants.
And the American people are being held hostage as well, I think.
But they're trying to defend putting $400 billion into a health care program to pay for illegals through unreimbursed care.
So talk about being out of touch. It never surprised me. Of course, CNN knows who their audience is. They held a town hall last night with Bernie Sanders and AOC sitting side by side and bouncing off each other, talking about wanting free health care and free college for everyone. And I mean, just complete and utter nonsense spews out of that woman's mouth and Bernie Sanders' mouth as well.
Yeah.
Whenever he opens it.
Did you see Mondami yesterday on Fox News?
I did. I grabbed one of the bites, I think.
Yeah, we'll be hearing from him this morning on some of Mark's segments. But same thing. I mean, he's got all these promises, all these things, and all he's going to do is he's only going to increase the taxes of 2% on millionaires.
On millionaire white people.
On
millionaire white people, he said.
But only 2%. Are you kidding me? The dude's got over almost $1 trillion of spending planned, and he thinks 2% of millionaires. And, oh, by the way, most of those millionaires are going to pack it up and leave. So
of course they are.
So if people just use common sense, well, then how are we going to pay for this? They're taxing you. He's going to put a tax on everything. He's going to have taxes galore. We're going to go from a 38% income tax in New York to about 60%, 70%. They're going to own you in New York if you live there because they're going to have to pay for all these socialist programs.
What these young people fail to understand is the reason socialism fails everywhere it's tried is that you can't punish people for success. That's what they try to do.
Yep.
It's the green envy monster to punish people for success. Now, I just wanted to play this. I want to hijack your segment.
No, that's fine.
But Bernie Sanders last night got schooled by a guy in the audience when he asked him, how do you feel about Chuck Schumer's shutdown? And of course, Bernie had his answer prepared. Well, you know, these Republicans don't want to negotiate. Listen to this. Hold on here. Of course, what did Mark do? What do you think? If you had to lay odds on what happened there, what do you think happened? I did not have my computer audio turned up because I didn't want something to play wrong. Here we go.
Yes, thank you for your time, Senator. How do you think this shutdown reflects on Chuck Schumer's leadership?
It's okay to give well, how do you feel? You tell me. Think it's a good idea to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the richest people in the country and then make massive cuts to health care for working class people?
I think Chuck Schumer has voted for continuing resolutions 13 times in the last 4 years, and he has the opportunity to vote for one again, but he's refusing to come to the table.
I think, look, as I have said, there are 53 Republicans in the Senate, correct?
Yes.
They need 60. What does that mean? It means you have to talk to the other side.
This hypocrite was one of the loudest voices in every government shutdown when he thought he could blame Republicans and they offered a clean CR and the Republicans didn't vote for it. And now the Republicans need to negotiate.
That's right.
No, they don't.
When they were in the majority,
No,
they never negotiated. They would ignore anything that came from the Republicans. Ignore.
I tell you, it's easier. I saw a meme the other day. It's easier to negotiate with Hamas than it is the Democrats. But the dangerous precedent that you've set there by negotiating with the terrorists of October 7th who took hostages and murdered all those people is that terrorists now expect to be negotiated with. And that's what's going on in the Senate.
Exactly.
That we're not going to bring our toys until you give us exactly what we want.
And if we cave, they'll keep doing it.
Thank you.
That's right.
You got it. They got to draw the line somewhere, and I really hope that they do.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, my date's coming up. I said
tomorrow.
I did. Yeah, tomorrow. It would have to be resolved. Actually, I said 17th, which is a Saturday. So it would have to be resolved by Friday in order to get it done, because they're not working over the weekend.
16th. Tomorr's the 17th.
Oh, it is. That's right. Tomorrow's my deadline.
Friday.
Tomorrow's my deadline. I
I
forecasted on the 1st of October this thing would go 17 days.
You did.
And the vote yesterday went nowhere. So I'm guessing that if they have another vote tomorrow, it's more a show, just that the Democrats refuse to wane. And what's up with Marjorie Taylor Greene? She seems to be.
No, I listened to a little bit of that story about her this morning,
and that she is maybe waffling and may pull her support
of what for
the shutdown.
Oh my!
And basically,
well, it won't matter. She's
wants
in the
to
House.
cower. Well, I know,
matter.
But she's being pretty vocal. I just don't get her sometimes. I'm just like, I like her. She's outspoken, but just lately she's been like kind of weird.
That's what her ex-husband said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
I interviewed her on the day that her divorce was final. Do you know that?
No.
I was at the immigration conference in Washington D.C. Hold their feet to the fire a couple years ago.
How'd you know that was the day of her divorce? That came up in your
Carl
interview?
Middleman found it out. Like I don't know. How does Carl know anything? So we're there. We have her scheduled. We didn't have her scheduled, I should say, and she shows up at the booth next door. And the guy his show had ended. And she's like, but you had me scheduled. And he goes, well, you were running late. I'm sorry, the show's over now. Well, I'm sitting there with the segment in front of me, and I'm like, Congresswoman, come over here. So she steps across the aisle, sits down in my booth, and we did an interview.
Wow.
And Carl later told me that was the day her divorce was finalized, was that day that she did that. So
that's why she was in such a good mood and
I
sitting
guess
down
so.
with anybody
She
who
was
wanted to
happy.
talk
She
to
was
her.
happy to talk to me there.
There you go.
For sure. All right, quick break here. Speaking of crazy ladies, you got to hear more from AOC at this town hall last night. We'll get to that when we come back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. We look great on the roads at this hour. It's quiet through North County and looking good. Eastbound 70, 64, 40, 44 for about west into downtown. Quiet on the Illinois side. On 21 this morning, at 6 this morning until 2 this afternoon, they're going to close one north and southbound lane between Green Park and Rivas Road. And in fact, they'll do a north and southbound lane down on 21 between Lindbergh and Green Park as well. But that will be 6 a.m. until 2 p.m. They're trying to get that road work done in the middle of the day and kind of going against rush hour. So let's hope that works. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property, manage vegetation, and clear land for better views. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
How about making your backyard great again? My friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck can help you with that. Just go to ChesterfieldFence.com if you need some inspiration. On there, they've got great pictures of, backyards all over the greater St. Louis area and the sound of my voice that they've been able to go in and do these just beautiful pressed concrete porches, back porches with fire pits in them, and pergolas with louvers that open and close on the top you can access them from your phone or a remote control. It's just really cool. Some of the technology is pretty amazing these days. Chesterfield Fence and Deck can do all of it for you because they do so much more than fences and decks. They've been around for 57 years. Same family has owned them for 57 years. So they've got longtime employees who work there. They run their own crews. They're not subbing people out. You're getting a high-quality product from Chesterfield Fence. And if you call them right now, you say, listen, I heard Marc Cox bragging about this. They're going to give you 20% off the bottom line. So you schedule your project, you get 20% taken off the bottom, and then you get your work done. They got great financing options. You can check them out on the Better Business Bureau and the online reviews, and they're outstanding because there's a lot of pride in what they do at Chesterfield Fence. Check them out right now. You can go online to chesterfieldfence.com.
Join us October 23rd at Lit Cigar Lounge and celebrate 25 years with drinks from Lore Wine and Spirits, Old Dominic Distillery, and Rayburn Wines, plus live music by Pretty Weeds and food from Napoli Bros. Reservations at 971talk.com. Presented by Rhino Shield and U.S. Men's Medical Center.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Lights flickering?
Grasser can fix it.
Breaker keeps tripping?
That's a Grasser job.
Outlet not working?
Grasser makes it right.
Old wiring need a rewire?
Grasser rewires with care.
From little fixes to major fixes.
Even the tricky ones.
We treat your home like our own.
Treat? Did you say treat?
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at noon.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
When they talk about Republicans and their success online, they have been successful because they have also been very clear, especially digitally, about what they believe. And they are able to radicalize and target and exploit a generation of young boys, in particular, away from healthy masculinity and into an insecure masculinity that requires the domination of others who are poorer, browner, darker, or a different gender than them.
What is she talking about?
I don't know. She's bat crap crazy is what she is, honestly. Listening to that last night, I would hate to suggest you watch CNN.
Yeah, but who exactly was she going after on that? Was it like a Proud
Republicans?
Boys
Republicans.
Oh,
so the question was
me.
about how did Democrats win the digital war? Like, in other words, digital. How can you
sell your
of course,
policies?
Bernie Sanders believes all the major platforms now, Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, all these are pro-Trump, and they're going to use this to brainwash the American people, according to Bernie Sanders. So that was the gist of the question. And then they went to her and asked, Bernie Sanders said, ask her. She knows more about the digital stuff than I do. And she's like, oh, the Republicans are using it to brainwash men. You need to listen to the entire bite. I'm going to let you play it. But she claims Republicans are using digital media to brainwash everyone against lesbians and gays, and she's warped is what she is.
Genuine masculinity is a threat to them. They know they've
Of
lost.
course.
They have lost real men in America.
So they have to call that toxic.
Right. Well, real men, masculine men, don't buy into the whole gender crap, right?
Right.
So that's okay to promote that through the digital platform, the transgender ideology, and brainwash kids that they're not really what they were born to be. But if a man wants to be a man, loves to hunt, loves to fish, loves to play sports, loves to be a father, loves to coach, loves to do the things that men love to do, somehow that's toxic to them.
Listen,
or that's bad for America.
Just listen to the mental illness at work here from her. Listen.
When they talk about Republicans and their success online, they have been successful because they have also been very clear, especially digitally, about what they believe. That women are inferior, they do not deserve equal rights. That they believe that LGBTQ Americans are subhuman. That they believe and are circulating disgusting racial and white supremacist messaging that they are able to get away with digitally and online. And they are able to radicalize and target and exploit a generation of young boys, in particular, away from healthy masculinity and into an insecure masculinity that requires the domination of others who are poorer, browner, darker, or a different gender than them. And that is why they are resonating online, because they are appealing to the most basest and worst parts of human nature to divide us.
I don't even know where to start. I mean, she is basically saying that being a man, being masculine, is evil. That is basically what she's saying.
She's saying if you don't believe in her worldview, you are racist and toxic in your masculinity.
And if you don't play the make-believe game with the transgender people, you're the problem. You're the problem, right? Because we don't want to play the make-believe game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I know you're dressed like a rabbit, but I don't believe you are a rabbit. But I'm toxic for thinking that.
If you're on the left, folks, that's what you're buying.
Thank you.
That woman is what you're buying because she's the future of the party. Wow. Just
Operation Let Them Speak is in full force on CNN last night.
As Senator Kennedy would say. That's great.
Yes, indeed. All right, quick break. We've got Bret Baier from Fox News in the next hour. Stay tuned.
Social Security is with you through life's journey from birth to retirement. As your life changes year to year, so do your needs. For over 80 years, Social Security has helped to meet your needs and is committed to improving access to the services that make a difference in your life. Today, you can verify your earnings, estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, manage your benefits, and even change your address, all from the comfort of your home. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policy policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Much of the government is closed for a 16th day. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This is a Democrat Schumer shutdown, and he's trying to do it to get relevance back into the party because he's a loser.
President Trump and Republicans blame the Senate's minority leader as vote after vote to fund the government fails. Democrats keep demanding provisions to prevent looming cuts to Obamacare subsidies for many Americans. Independent Senator Bernie Sanders told a CNN town hall.
If Trump wins this fight, our healthcare system could well collapse, and tens of thousands of people could die every single year.
Hamas has turned over the bodies of 2 more dead hostages to Israel. It's up to 9 so far. 19 more still not returned as the Gaza ceasefire agreement calls for. Hamas says it's all they can find. President Trump says the search continues.
It's a gruesome process. I almost hate to talk about it, but they're digging.
Now, the U.S. operation to stop drug trafficking out of Venezuela is intensifying. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Mike Waltz, just told Fox.
These are designated terrorist gangs. And President Trump is going to do whatever it takes.
After military strikes took out 5 drug boats, killing 27 alleged narco-terrorists off the coast, the president authorized covert CIA action inside Venezuela.
He said he did so because the government of Venezuela and its leader, Nicolas Maduro, had released prisoners into the U.S. and drugs were coming into the U.S. from Venezuela. The Maduro government has been saying the U.S. is trying to produce a regime change.
Fox's Jill Nato. It's been a nightmare in a storm-ravaged area of Alaska.
1,500 people are forced from their homes in 2 villages in western Alaska near the Bering Sea, devastated by flooding over the weekend. The Alaska Army National Guard says it's flown about 300 people to Anchorage, hundreds of miles away, with shelters closer to home and an armory in the city of Bethel filling up. Those villages, Kipnuk and Quigillinguk, are only reachable by water or air.
Fox's Chris Foster. 1 woman's dead, 2 people missing. America's listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 6:03 and 60 degrees. A St. Charles County jury on Wednesday convicted Christopher Harper of murdering his girlfriend's brother and shooting his wife and teen daughter at their St. Peter's home in May of 2023. Harper will be sentenced in December. An off-duty St. Louis police sergeant is jailed without bail after he hit a man on a moped while intoxicated, causing the man's lower leg to be amputated, according to charges filed on Wednesday. 44-year-old Chris Murray had a blood alcohol limit of .096, slightly over the legal limit in Missouri's .08. Murray is charged with DUI and second-degree assault. That accident happened while he was off duty. A developer's plan to build 470 homes west of Lake St. Louis hit a stumbling block on Wednesday as the county's zoning board was split on approving the 250-acre development, which is across from Timberland High School. The plans for Trailside Farms will continue to be reviewed and debated by county zoning officials to address questions and concerns on traffic along Highway N, water supply, and the impact on Wentzville schools. In sports, the Blue Jays came out swinging in Seattle. Toronto pounded the Mariners in the ALCS 13-4. Mariners still up in that series 2-1. Game 4 tonight at 7. The NLCS resumes tonight in LA. Dodgers up 2-0 on the Brewers. The Blues returned home last night to start a 4-game homestand, and man, the Blackhawks just hammered the Blues 8-3. Backup goalie Joel Hofer gave up 7 of those goals. Next up is Dallas on Saturday night, and that faceoff is at 6. It is 6:05, 60 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, we still look good on the roads out there. If you're just headed out, quiet through North County, looking good on the Illinois side. And we look great eastbound 70, 64, 40, and 44 from out west into downtown. Yeah, we look really good through there. Now, there is some road work scheduled on 141 this morning. It doesn't start until 9 a.m., but they will close a lane from West Outer Road over 141 to the westbound 64 exit ramp. And that's just one lane, but it will be closed 9 a.m. until 3 this afternoon. This report is brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they have been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. From windows and siding to kitchens, bathrooms, and outdoor spaces, they deliver quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
A nice start this morning, but we have another October warm-up this afternoon, much like yesterday. Sunshine, 83 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, 61. Friday, partly sunny, back to 83, 84 degrees. Some showers moving in after midnight Friday night. Saturday, showers, a few thunderstorms. A beneficial rain for Saturday. 78 for the high. Sunday, partly sunny, and fall returns. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Thanks, Dave. 61 right now. Listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show anywhere you go at any time. All you need to do is go out on the App Store and download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Hey, good morning to you. Glad you're with us. It's a Thursday morning, 16th day of the Schumer shutdown, and we're happy you're with us here this morning as we chug along and keep an eye on what's going on. Dan Buckin here along with me this morning, and Ethan Bright. We got Sue Thomas with your traffic as well, as usual. Remember the podcast. If you miss a segment, you can always go back and pick it up on the podcast. There's a really cool thing we've got here now, this QR code that they put up during break. If you're watching on the socials, it's really really nice because every time we go to a commercial break, they pop up that screen. There's a QR code on there now. You can just scan that with your phone. It takes you straight to the podcast. So you can pick up segments we've done and already post it up on the web for you if you miss anything. We try to make that as easy for you as possible. Of course, you can download the podcast anywhere you would normally get a podcast. Just search for the Marc Cox Morning Show, and you can find it like that. So just a quick reminder.
Yeah, you got a big hitter coming on this hour. We got the main man at Fox. How did you get this?
So Bret Baier is doing a little bit of a media tour right now because he wrote a book. So the nice thing about us is when we can get a Mark Levin or somebody big like that this early in the morning, it's usually because they're promoting a book.
Yes.
And, God bless them, they work evening hours, so they're not normally up this early in the morning. But we found out that Bret Baier was doing a media blitz for his new book that's coming out. I think it comes out on October 21st about Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
And the birth of a superpower.
Yeah, it's called To Rescue the American Spirit. And, I mean, I can't wait. I'm going to read it. I love Teddy Roosevelt. I think it's an intriguing story of how he even got to politics.
Yes.
And I'm anxious because, the Rough Riders and an unbelievable military experience and just love this nation so much. I've never read a book, really, a third-party book about him.
About Roosevelt.
About Roosevelt.
Should be interesting. He and
Teddy Roosevelt.
He and Kilmeade. Yeah, be sure and say
make
Teddy.
Sure, right.
He and Kilmeade have both put out a series of these historical books on historical figures, and I tell you, I've read all of Kilmeade's. I believe this may be the fifth or sixth book that Bret Baier has put out as well. So anxious to talk to him. Of course, he's got a front seat for all of the historic things that have happened recently, including the peace deal and watching all of it go down. He's covered it since it happened in Israel 2 years ago on October 7th. So we'll get to Bret coming up in the next segment. Dan, you and I haven't talked about this yet this morning, but disappointed to see the continued bloodletting over at News Channel 5.
Yeah, my old stomping grounds.
KSDK yesterday pretty unceremoniously fired Rennie Knott, who had been their morning anchor, and then prior to that, their sports anchor. Came here from Washington, D.C. to be the sports director.
Yeah, when Mike
ago.
Bush left sports, went to become the main news anchor, Rennie, that opened up the slot there. Rennie came in and took that spot, then moved him to the morning anchor, where I think he spent the last 12 years. And just kind of, as you said, unceremoniously gone.
Well, and it's a... We don't know. We haven't spoken to Rennie.
No.
My suspicion is that when Anthony Slaughter left over there, I did reach out to him. In most of these separation cases, they say we'll give you X amount of dollars, but you can't talk about your reason for leaving.
Yep.
They probably did the same thing with Rennie, and my guess is he's not able to talk about this, but it's probably just like it was with Steve Savard, just like it's been with all of the big anchors recently who are still making a little bit of money in TV news. When the opportunity comes up and their contract is up, they get rid of them, or they try to give them a big pay cut, and it's the reason they want to walk away. Channel 5's lost a number of good people recently.
And a lot of them through, I would argue, natural retirement.
Some of them.
Kay Quinn, retirement age. Certainly, Art Holiday. What was it, 42 years or something
time.
like that?
Yeah,
that he was there, and I think Art was near 70. I mean, so some natural retirements, but yes, I think there's also been, as you said, some salary busting. If you kind of look over there, there's not a lot of seasoned people anymore. Is that a good way of putting it? I mean,
seasoned. I think they would. I think Mike Bush would appreciate that description.
He's definitely a seasoned veteran.
He's seasoned,
yeah.
And there aren't that many around anymore, right?
No,
when you think about it. Mandy Murphy is seasoned.
Yeah.
Perchborn's about to retire.
Next Wednesday is John. In fact, we're going to try to get him on next week, maybe on his last day.
Oh, nice.
I think he's on Reardon's show today, though. So,
okay.
Yep. But definitely a great career in television. John Perchborn, over 30 years in St. Louis alone, and just a great guy.
Hard to get morning news anchors on morning radio shows because they're usually busy.
Right.
So when he's not working anymore, maybe we can get him on our show.
He has like a 1 hour break in there. I think he does the 5 to 6 and 6 to 7, and then 7 to 8 he gets a break before he does the 8 to 9. So we'll maybe get him in that 7 o'clock hour.
All right.
So.
Well, just sad that one more face that people recognize. I got to travel with Rennie to D.C. when they had the Presidential Medal of Freedom for Stan Musial years ago during the Obama administration. Got to go to the White House and cover that, and Rennie and I did together, sitting on a couch in the hotel across from the White House, one of, I believe, the last TV interviews Stan Musial ever did. And then he died after that. He didn't do really any more media after that event. So we got to know Rennie a little bit during that. Hated to hear that. All right, let's get to our top stories this morning, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
And you look at this No Kings rally, and there's considerable evidence that George Soros and his network is behind funding these rallies, which may well be riots all across the country. And Soros is writing the check.
Yeah, Ted Cruz wants to change the law so that RICO can be used to investigate where all of this money is coming together from different sources to coordinate these radical left rallies around the country. And I don't know if it gets anywhere in the Senate or not, but it is an interesting thought.
It's time to reopen the government. It's time to enact a bipartisan spending agreement that actually makes life better for everyday Americans.
Is it, Hakeem? Well, why don't you tell Chuck Schumer to vote on the clean resolution, and then you can go back in the appropriations process and work on whatever health care spending you're hoping to achieve. They can't do that because then they lose their leverage. That's why they won't negotiate.
Basically, the last information that I got is that once the Senate passed what we passed out of the House, and I shouldn't say we, what they passed out of the House, then we would come back. I think it's a terrible, terrible idea. It's a terrible plan.
Jasmine Crockett there flashing the big fake eyelashes, telling you that a clean CR is a horrible, horrible plan all of a sudden after supporting them the past 13 times.
Well, I mean, he's a fool and he's a moron, but also, most importantly, Sean, he hates America. And let's just be honest about it. You can't love your country and then fight President Trump to keep murderers murdering.
Yeah, Stephen Miller last night on J.B. Pritzker, and he absolutely eviscerated the man, just gutted him like a deer on national television. I loved watching that on the Hannity show last night.
That's a lot of gut to gut.
I'm just saying. Just saying. All right, we're going to get to a break here. I want to have plenty of time for us to talk to Bret Baier, chief political anchor for the Fox News Network, and he's got a new book out. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about the news of the day and the shutdown and everything else coming up in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
There is an accident now on northbound 55 approaching 67. Looks like they've got the right lane and possibly the right shoulder blocked as well. So that is causing a delay this morning down south. Once you get past there, there's just the beginnings of some volume in the right lane at 270, and then things open up. Now, that's really the only issue at this hour on both the Missouri and Illinois sides. Other than that, it is quiet. This report brought to you by The Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, my friends at Grasser Electric, just talked to my friend Shane Grasser the other day. He and Josh run this great shop that's been around for 50 years now. You might have heard those new ads they got running, pretty cute, with the little kids saying, that's what Grasser does. That's absolutely what Grasser does. They take care of any electrical needs that you may have if you're in the sound of my voice. It's pretty simple, right? If you own a home, you will need an electrician at some point, unless you're one of those do-it-yourselfers. Don't be like Mark and get knocked off a ladder because you think you're smart enough to have the electrical system figured out. It can fool you, and it can kill you. I was lucky. But you need to call Grasser Electric. Let Sean or one of their great electricians come out, and they will get that straightened out for you. So I've had 220 lines run a couple of times now for a hot tub now that I moved. Like cake, like they got it done. The inspector said to me after the first one, it had to have a ditch dug to get the line run outside, and he's like, "That's the easiest inspection I've done in a long time." That's what you get when you use the professionals at Grasser Electric to take care of all your electrical needs. No job too big or too small for Grasser. 636-441-5200. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. Go online to grasserelectric.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
From the gateway city to the front lines of freedom, this is the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, some people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
Yeah, she said it. Never a dull moment in politics these days. Never a shortage of things to cover. We are fortunate enough this morning to get Bret Baier out of bed really early. Of course, chief political anchor for Fox News, executive editor and anchor of Special Report. Bret, good morning to you.
Good morning.
This was an early call for you, my man. I know you got a book out, but wow.
Yeah, the coffee works.
It's true. I'm sure you guys probably covered this yesterday, but do you think Kamala Harris really believes she was the most qualified candidate to ever run for president?
She started that sentence with "some people say," and we have not found those people.
Well, maybe the people in her head.
Right? Maybe.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. That's interesting. Bret, you sit at the front seat of history every day, my friend, getting to cover this Mideast peace plan unfolding over the last couple of days. I know some parts of it are still up in the air with Hamas, but that must just be the thrill of a lifetime for you.
Yeah, it is. I tell my staff it's like drinking from a fire hose. We try to get it all into 1 hour. But on those big days, those historic days, it is really quite something to be able to chronicle what's going on. That was a massive day that people will remember for a long, long time. And that's, all these hostages coming home and those reunion videos on TV. I think to your point, we have a lot to countries are going to react and how they're going to react and how they're going to, move forward.
Yeah. And as we've seen already, Hamas appears to be balking on returning some of the bodies of the deceased. And, President Trump said if they don't give up their arms, we're going to go in and take them. So we may not be out of the woods yet in terms of hostilities over there.
Yeah, and listen, you already see Hamas going after some of these groups inside Gaza that were trying to get them out. And the bloodletting is happening. So now there's a decision for IDF, Israel, whether to go back in or not. And that's where we are today.
Yeah, over 30 people massacred and shot. Turning back to the U.S. side of things, the shutdown now, into its 16th day. How do you think this is going to end? Do you think one side's going to have to cave, or is there going to be some middle ground found, exactly where do you see this thing going?
I think that, telling the story of this is a lot easier for Republicans than it is for Democrats. And, they can say, listen, we want a clean continuing resolution that funds the government at Biden-level funding until the end of the year. And then we, argue and fight and work out the details of these subsidies for Obamacare. Democrats feel like they have an issue that they want to hold on to. So it's going to take somebody reaching across the aisle. So far, 2 Democrats have voted for the funding. They've voted all the time that John Thune puts this on the floor every couple days. It could be the longest government shutdown that we've seen, though.
It's pretty amazing. Bret Baier, our guest this morning, of course, anchor of a special report with Bret Baier every night on Fox News. So you've got a new book out, To Rescue the American Spirit, Teddy Roosevelt and the Birth of a Superpower. Why that story right now?
It's he is such a larger-than-life figure in history, and all the anecdotes about Teddy Roosevelt, they're chock full of just real detail. But this particular book focuses on the soda straw look as he's kind of coming to the grips of America with global leadership and how important America in the world is. And I think just after what we saw in Israel and after what the president's doing on a number of different fronts, it does fit. There are some similarities. There's some great stories in here. It's my 6th presidential biography, and I think it's one of my favorites.
He's one of my absolute favorites. Rough around the edges, right? I mean, the Rough Rider military part of his life. How did he successfully transition into really being a great global diplomat? It had to be tough for him because he was a man many felt who didn't have a lot of patience, and it had to be a big change for him to take on that political role.
Yeah, definitely. And it basically starts with this brokering peace between Russia and Japan, and he arranges the two sides to hold this peace conference in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and he works behind the scenes to try to help them reach an agreement. And it sounds familiar, these peace deals, but this is the first one that America is on the stage, and eventually his contribution wins him the Nobel Prize.
Yeah. It's a good point. Where
kind of has this. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say your audio's breaking up a little bit there. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry about it. He kind of has this forward thinking that that's where America should be, and I think that he makes the transition in his life from Rough Rider in going up San Juan Hill to president, but he's an unlikely president because he takes over after the assassination of William McKinley.
Yeah, good point. What are the parallels here? You can never accuse Donald Trump of speaking softly, but he certainly carries a big stick.
Exactly. There are parallels. Listen, he had this command of the press. He loved talking to reporters. And he also had this larger-than-life persona. However, he's also a big family man, and you see that throughout his history in the White House to the point where, he's playing with kids midday, riding bicycles down the halls of the White House.
Why your fascination with the presidents and making this series of books? As you said, your 6th presidential biography in some ways. I mean, you really dive into these guys' lives. Why the fascination?
Because I think that if we look backwards, a lot of times it can teach us about not only where we are, but maybe where we're going. We have this cyclical thing, and we can learn a ton from history. That, plus I think that, kids are not getting a lot of history today in schools.
No
and if I can write it in a way that's interesting, that's page turning, that's like more of a story, but it's real, I think that helps, tell us where we are.
Will you convert this over to Fox Nation as a story?
It's going to be an hour special. Yeah.
Nice.
We'll break it up on Special Report. We'll run pieces all next week, but by next week it'll be on Fox Nation for an hour special.
Outstanding. Great. Well, it comes out, I think, the 21st. You can order it now. To Rescue the American Spirit, Teddy Roosevelt, and the Birth of a Superpower. Bret Baier, thank you so much for your time this morning.
You bet. Have a good one.
Yep. Good luck. Good luck with everything. I can't think of Teddy Roosevelt anymore without envisioning Robin Williams in Nighttime at the Museum. Did you remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
When he was Teddy Roosevelt.
He was.
That's instead of Teddy Roosevelt's face, I envisioned
him
Robin Williams
right
that
into
horse.
the diagram.
That's
Or what do they call
right.
Not diagram. What do they call those little things? The little display.
Oh,
that
yeah,
he was in.
yeah.
He
That's true.
shrunk himself into it. Yeah.
All right. Quick break here. We'll be back in just a minute with Tom Ackerman.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Let's talk about Home Shield Foundation repairs very quickly. I do encourage you, if you have questions about what they do, to please go to their website, homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com, and you will see there the polyjacking process. There are videos showing how they do that, because if you've got water standing in parts of your driveway after it rains this weekend, that's a good test time. Go out and look. And if you've got uneven concrete, they can fix that for you in a hurry. It's much more much cheaper, I should say, than having to have the entire pad broken up and repoured. And they give you a 5-year guarantee when they do it. Now, you got rain coming Saturday. If you're worried about your basement getting wet, you need to have my friend Matt Hayes come out from Home Shield Foundation Repairs. They do all kinds of repairs. They'll take care of you. 314-227-9636. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 6:30 and 62 degrees. A St. Charles County jury on Wednesday convicted Christopher Harper of murdering his girlfriend's brother and shooting his wife and teen daughter at their St. Peter's home back in May of 23. Harper will be sentenced in December. A developer's plan to build 470 homes west of Lake St. Louis hit a stumbling block on Wednesday as the county zoning board was split on approving the 250-acre development. The plans for Trailside Farms will continue to be reviewed and debated by the county zoning officials. In sports, the Blue Jays came out swinging in Seattle. They won 13-4 over the Mariners. They're still down in that series 2-1, Game 4 tonight. The NLCS resumes tonight in L.A. The Dodgers up 2-0. And the Blues returned last night for a 4-game homestand start, and the Blackhawks hammered the Blues 8-3. That's your headlines. It's 6:31. It is 62 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look good on the roads still. Now, they cleared that accident northbound 55 approaching 67. And traffic, although a little bit slow, still down there. At least that obstacle is gone. Now, there's some moderate volume in the right lanes at 270 and at Bayless in the construction zone. Northbound 270, we're starting to see a little moderate volume at 44 and at Manchester. And other than that, we're still good. Eastbound 70 looks great from out west into downtown. 64, there was a little bit of a slowdown in both directions near Prospect, mainly due to road work, but then things open up for eastbound drivers and look okay into the city. Quiet on the Illinois side, too. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
All right, just on here checking out the Missouri School Rankings. You can go to MissouriSchoolRankings.org. You can go to ShowMeInstitute.org. That's where they have collected all this information. It's part of what they do, right? They believe in transparency in government, transparency in your institutions like schools. If you're not able to accurately detect where your school district ranks, how can you decide if you want to spend money on that next bond issue they're floating, right? These are major issues. You need to understand the percentage of students that are full-time, the average teacher salaries, total expenditures per pupil. That's what I love about the Show Me Institute. They are a think tank right here in Missouri that concentrates on tax reduction and tax reform and proper use of your tax money at every level of government. You should appreciate that, too. If you have questions about that or you'd like to take a look at their school rankings project, just go to their website. There's also a donate button there on the top if you'd like to support the kind of work they do. Go to showmeinstitute.org.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis, and they get paid weekly. Available to eligible Medicaid members in St. Louis. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want to receive great care from a loved one, go to freedomcare.com or for faster service call 314-597-1749. 314-597-1749. That's 314-597-1749.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
25 years strong. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
The great sportsman like Tom Ackerman.
Baseball's really not a hard sport.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
It's like powered by coffee this morning.
Sports, sponsored by McDonald's, reminding you to round up your total for Ronald McDonald House charities on your next order.
All right, I don't know that we ever get this permanent smile wiped off Tom Ackerman's face, but he's in a good mood again because his Indiana Hoosiers are doing so well in football. But
dream season.
How about the Blues? I mean, they bounced back from that initial loss, won what?
Two in a row.
Two on the road, yep.
Yeah,
Come
it's not
home
too
last
bad.
night.
What are your thoughts on them, Tom?
Yeah, they got
smoked
shellacked
last night.
They got
last night.
shellacked last night.
Yeah, they lost 8-3. Joel Hofer gave up 7 goals, and he's given up now 7 at home, and Jordan Bennington's given up 6 at home. So they got smoked in their first home game. I don't know what's going on there, but they lost the first one 5-0. Then they won 2 games on the road, Calgary and Vancouver, and then they came home and won 8-3. They got to change up the routine at home. Figure that out. Maybe just going on the road, locking in, business trip, just them. When you come home, you deal with a lot of different things. Perhaps they got to change it up a little bit and try to figure out and recapture why they were able to play so well up there and not well back here. It's not necessarily the competition or anything, or it could be just a fluky thing. We've seen this happen to teams over in many different sports. So it happens. It's only 4 games into the season. They're 2-2. It's nothing to be overly concerned about. I will say that one thing I saw yesterday was Dylan Holloway scoring a goal kind of gets people off his back because people were wondering where's the offense from this star player we've all been hoping to see. And then he scored, and then, he laid out a hit that on Sam Renzel that was just phenomenal. He hit him like a truck. It was just unbelievable, right behind the net. But the Blues didn't have much after that. They just fell apart. So, and a game that started, I think, like 3 hours ago, it feels like. It just, it was like, took forever for them to drop the puck. It started after 9 o'clock for television reasons. TNT dragged this on forever.
What do they do with the crowd? They just all have to sit and wait?
They just drink beer, Dan. They just get hammered. And then they all Uber home.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, well, speaking of the home versus away, first time this year, Mizzou's got to go on the road. It's going to be a challenge for them at Auburn.
How about that? They have the fewest flight miles of any college football team in America. 0.
Wow.
They have not left Columbia.
Exactly.
Once.
6 straight home games. That's
not
crazy.
Once. So they go to Auburn, and Eli Drinkwitz is tired of talking about where he's going to be coaching next. Everyone's mentioning him for Penn State and wondering if he's ever going to be dragged out of Columbia to somewhere else. He's tired of it. He's tired of hearing all the social media chatter, and he wants to just move ahead and coach his football team, and I don't blame him. We're in the middle of the season here, and the Tigers are ranked 16th in the country, and they've got some work to do. They weren't bad against Alabama. They just couldn't finish. They made too many mistakes. Auburn just got beat at home by Georgia. They're wounded. They need to get going, and they would love to get this win over Missouri. Missouri's a slight favorite, 1.5 last time I checked. It's a night game at Auburn. I've been to a lot of places. Auburn is one of the craziest, most fun,
it's like
loud
going into
environments.
Alabama. Yeah, it's crazy.
Awesome. I think it's actually louder and crazier than Bama. I think it's right up there with, the LSUs and the Tennessees. It is awesome. So, but, environments are what they are. You just got to go play and play well. And the way to take the crowd out of the game is what they should have done against Alabama. Just give the ball to Ahmad Hardy. Let's move the chains to eat up the clock and play good, solid football and get out of there. And I think Missouri can do that and win that football game.
And it's a night game on Saturday.
All the speculation flying around. That's what got under Drinkwitz's skin yesterday. I watched part of his reaction. All the speculation mid-season about coaches talking about other jobs and all the speculation on whether Drinkwitz is being considered for openings that are going to pop up in college football. He's like, stop. This is all noise. Just ignore all of this. It happens every year. Let's just play football. Leave me alone.
Yeah, and my coach, Kurt Cignetti's being mentioned for Penn State. Good luck with that.
Why would he do that?
He's not going anywhere.
No.
He's very happy. His wife loves Bloomington. He's making a ton of money. All of his coaches have been with him forever. They're giving him all the money and all the resources in the world. He's being funded by Mark Cuban and everybody else. Don't you worry about it. Indiana's got deep pockets, massive alumni base.
Yeah.
He's going nowhere.
He'd only leave for like a real football school like Kentucky. Then he would transfer, I think.
Yeah,
but
right.
If Kentucky doesn't come knocking, you can keep him.
This isn't the 1990s, the 1980s. This is college football is different now. Everybody's on the even playing field now. If you've got money, you can use it.
Yep.
And Indiana is proof of that. Really good football games here. Miami plays tomorrow night. They're ranked 2nd in the country. Be careful here against Louisville. Louisville's not bad. Miami has not left the state of Florida yet. Their games have been all in the state of Florida. So they're ranked 2nd in the country. They play tomorrow night That game should be a fun one to watch. That's on ESPN. And then Saturday, you got a whole bunch of games. I'd say the best one is Ole Miss at Georgia, a 2:30 kickoff on ABC on Saturday afternoon. I'll be at IU Michigan State for homecoming in Bloomington. In fact, I've made the decision to do sports on a Sunday morning from
Bloomington?
the Cuban Center on Sunday.
No kidding.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Any well-known guests who are going to show up
Cuban
for that?
Center is the sports media center at Indiana. I have requested one Kurt Signetti. I am told that he is laying low on interviews, but we'll see if we can't sway the old ball coach to hop on over.
That's not like named after Mark Cuban or
It
something?
is actually.
It really?
Mark Cuban's donated millions of dollars to
He's
the
an alum.
sports media program, so we appreciate that.
And you also have Sage Steele out there, the former ESPN anchor. She was going crazy on her page, all excited about it.
Do have Sage and a lot of great media personalities, and I'd say our biggest one going right now is Joe Buck. While he did not graduate as a student, he ended up going back and taking some classes at Indiana, and we gave him at the media school an honorary doctorate.
Nice.
And he said that he was going to go on the air and call himself Dr. Buck, and he actually did. It was kind of funny with Troy Aikman after that. But anyway,
that's great.
Yeah.
NFL, anything of interest that you
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Yep.
I think the Chiefs winning their game was important. The game tonight is Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. The Bengals without Joe Burrow are really struggling. Steelers are surprising maybe to some people, but they're 4-1. They're pretty good, and they've got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I look ahead at this NFL schedule, and I think a team that's interesting to me is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 3-2. They're going to play the Saints and probably beat them on Sunday and go to 4-2. They'll start to get some buzz.
Tom,
in
I
Chicago.
know you got to run, buddy. Thank you.
Never run to a microphone.
Nope.
Jack Buck taught me that.
You have to walk. You have to walk.
Don't be out of
down
breath.
the hall.
I made that mistake one time, and I was out of breath.
Yep.
At the Busch Stadium studio, and Mr. Buck was sitting right there watching me, smiling. And when I was done, he goes, "Never run to a microphone, kid.
Never run to a mic.
I love it. I'll be walking over to Studio B here.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tommy.
I appreciate
the one,
that.
the only. And what's amazing is I can throw anything at him, and he just has it in his brain. He doesn't have a note in front of him.
Yeah.
This dude is like a walking sports encyclopedia.
You know, he's talking about these coaching changes, and I was watching an interview the other day with the guy who was the athletic director at the University of Alabama when Bear Bryant was the coach there. And he said Bear Bryant came to him one day and said, "I've been offered $1.2 million to become the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, and I'm going to go home and think about it overnight, but I don't know if I can turn down that much money."
Right.
And, you know, the guy said at that point, there was no way Alabama was going to be able to match that salary. So he just kept his fingers crossed, and he said Bear Bryant came back to him the next morning. Now, compare and contrast this to today's college football environment.
Yep.
Bear Bryant came back to him the next morning and said, "Can I have my job back? Because I've decided that I don't want to go into a situation where, as the coach, I've got players making more money than I'm making. I don't know how you influence someone adequately if they're paid more and therefore more important to the team than you are. And can I have my job back?" And the guy said, "You never not had your job. Like
I've been praying all night.
I had not submitted your resignation yet, so absolutely." So look at this today. Some of these coaches might have quarterbacks that are making as much money as they are. Not all of them, but some of them might be in that situation. That's the situation they put college football coaches in today, and that's a shame.
But all of the college coaches are making 6,
I
7,
know.
8, no,
Some
8
of them
times
are.
more than the NFL coaches.
Well, they're
I mean,
making more.
literally,
Yeah, I know.
way more. Yeah, I
That's
mean,
crazy.
so and I would argue it's a tougher job. You know, you get that constant churn and turnover, especially now with the portal. You are constantly having to bring new talent in, get them into your system, get them, you know, up to speed on how you do things. It's a whole big, tougher environment, I think, to coach in the college ranks than it is in the NFL, where you can, you know, pretty much know who's going to be on your roster year in and year out.
Yeah, awful.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
They're ruining college sports with this NIL deal. They have got to rein it in, put a cap on it, put restrictions on transfers, all of that has to happen.
But I will say one
soon.
advantage I didn't see coming was the parity. I did not see the field being leveled, or I should say teams that normally could not have competed because they didn't have the legend of football can now go out there and buy the players necessary. And Indiana's a great example of that. They, always had a tough time recruiting against the Alabamas and the Georgias. Yeah.
All right, quick break. We're going to be back with other news after this.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. Taking a look at traffic, we actually have kind of the usual volume on northbound 55. Some moderate volume at 67, and most of it really lines up around Bayless, headed into the construction zone. Northbound 270, slow pockets. It's mainly moderate volume right now, but it does stretch between 21 and 64. Eastbound 70 still looking good from Wright City into downtown. There's a slow go southbound 61, just moderate volume, headed for 64. Same thing on southbound 79 this morning, a little slow, headed for Highway Y. And then 64, moderate volume out at Prospect, and then it opens up, and 70 still looks good, 44 looks good. And we're quiet on the Illinois side, although eastbound 64, a little bit slow east of 159 in the work zone. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
In the 70s, baseball player Jerry Kelly decided to do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
This year, the company Jerry started decided we'd do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air and Electrical.
And electrical.
JerryKelly.com.
Let's talk Rhino Shield for a minute, how you can protect the outside of your home and then not worry about it. That's the thing I love the most about Rhino Shield, because over the course of the years, 17 and a half years I had Rhino Shield, I had neighbors that had to cover up whatever was on the outside of their house. And some of them went with, vinyl siding, which of course can get moldy looking, and that's not always the best option, I don't think. Others had brick, and then they wanted a different color, so they painted it with that thin, regular old paint from the big box store. And yes, before long, 3, 4, 5 years, it's all faded, and then you got to go back and go over all that again. Don't put up with that. Let Darren come out from Rhino Shield, talk to you about this beautifully durable Rhino Shield. It's 8 to 10 times thicker than regular paint. They put on 2 to 3 coats of it on your home. It hardens into basically a ceramic shield. It can cover just about anything on the outside of your house, from from stucco to unpainted brick to steel and aluminum, and then you don't have to worry about it again. I had a 25-year transferable warranty. You can get one too. If you're a business owner, they have applications that will make the outside of your business beautiful and maintenance-free in many cases in terms of having to repaint it. You're not going to have to do that for a long time. Call them today. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. Schedule before Thanksgiving, and you can lock in 2025 pricing, even if you don't get the job done until spring. 877-25-RHINO or online at 877-25rhino.com.
Hey, it's Shannon Bream from Fox News. I want to wish congratulations to you for 25 years. I don't think I'll ever catch up to you. I mean, in greatness or in number of years, I wish you at least 25 more. It is my pleasure to visit with you each week, and I wish you all the best.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
Did you know that 60% of adults over 20 avoid going to the dentist due to deep fear of dental treatment? Knowing that many of our chronic health problems can be directly related to the harmful bacteria in our mouth, not going to the dentist can be very dangerous. Hi, this is Dr. Michael White. I've been helping the dental anxiety patient for over 20 years with anxiety-free sedation. This is very effective and very affordable. Call my office at 314-270-8552. That's 314-270-8552.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
Oh, the internet has savaged the Barack Obama presidential library. Can I just tell you that? There are pictures of this thing that's going up in Chicago, and people are comparing it to the Death Star. Like Ted Cruz put out a great post about comparing it to the Death Star on the ground because it looks incomplete, right?
It's ugly.
It's just so ugly. Somebody compared it to they superimposed it and turned it sideways and put it on one of those giant walkers from The Empire Strikes Back that kind of lumbered along. Oh, yeah. You know, it kind of looked like that. And one compared it to a garbage can. They put one of those gray garbage cans next to it, and you could see it. But here's my favorite, because I'm a fan of the band The Who.
Uh-huh.
The Who had an album called Who's Next, and you could see where all of them had urinated on the side of this concrete block. And it sort of looks like the Barack Obama presidential library. That album cover was one of my favorites.
I mean, it deserves all of the criticism and jokes that it's getting because it is the absolute ugliest structure in America.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear about the police chase in Ohio?
I did not.
Yeah, in Parma Heights, police, they had an overnight horrific slow speed pursuit of a runaway inflatable pumpkin.
I did talk about
there
that.
Was
the
oh
other day.
you
yes,
did?
We did. Uh-huh.
Well, it reminded me because they did.
I thought it was something new.
No, they hunted down the pumpkin. They got it back to its rightful owner. It was about a mile away from the house of which it blew away.
Just rolling down the street.
Rolling
right?
down, and they threw it in the back of the paddy wagon, which was the funniest thing. You see this giant inflatable shoved into the back of the police car. But I last year had to save a Santa on the same thing, like 40-mile-an-hour winds. I couldn't catch it. The Santa was running out of control, and he was going down the middle of the street in Newtown, and I am literally sprinting after it. I did record it, though, and posted it later.
There's got to be video of that somewhere.
I recorded my chase and hunted him down and returned him to my neighbor.
So, Sue, this one's for you. You know, they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Mm-hmm. Bears, however, will kill you. And there's this, you've got to check this out on the New York Post. There's video of this Soviet-era research station up in Russia that was abandoned back in the 90s, and polar bears have taken it over.
Oh, my gosh.
So they went in with drones, because obviously you don't want to get too close to a polar bear because it will kill you.
Oh, yes.
And they got these great photos of these bears who've taken over this research center, and they look like big teddy bears, like they're just laying on the porch and chewing on pieces of wood, and their nose is right up against the camera. It looks like a dog or something. You got to check it out. It's on the New York Post website this morning.
Great.
You will love those pictures. All right, coming up, we're going to get to Gym Talent in the next hour. Shannon Bream and Griff Jenkins just a little later. Stay tuned.
more and more now I'm hearing when all my customers that are calling and setting up appointments for looking at different types of furnace and air conditioners, they're calling in because of all the years that I've said there is a common sense approach, and they want to see what that is. Well over 95% of the people are very happy that they did call me. I'm not saying that they purchased anything from me, but they're extremely happy that they did call me. It's not being cheaper, it's being explained in such a way to where they can make an honest decision for themselves and their family and what's best for their pocketbook. When you start getting prices for new furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Why is the CIA now doing covert operations inside Venezuela? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
They've allowed thousands and thousands of prisoners, mental institution, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, emptied out into the United States.
And President Trump says the other reason?
We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela.
The U.S. military has already blown up 5 drug boats off the coast, killing 27 alleged narco-terrorists. Venezuela's leader, Nicolas Maduro, who the U.S. has a $50 million reward up for his arrest, is calling for peace, warning the U.S. wants regime change and violating international law. But U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Mike Waltz, tells Fox the goal is
to defend U.S. sovereignty against actions that are actively killing Americans. And Venezuela can bring whatever they want to the UN. You know what's also part of the UN is Article 51 of the UN Charter that enables a country to defend itself.
Waltz also says the U.S. will help make sure Hamas finds the 19 dead hostages not yet turned over as part of the Gaza ceasefire. Only 9 bodies have been returned so far.
They need heavy equipment. They need specialized gear. But we have to also understand that if this ceasefire falls apart, if the fighting starts, that's going to make it that much harder to find these loved ones.
President Trump has a new city he wants a federal crime crackdown in, San Francisco, as his administration touts what was called Operation Summer Heat that yielded more than 8,000 arrests. Attorney General Pam Bondi says
there was a 70-year-old man arrested as a result of our operation in Memphis who raped a child under the age of 3. That one case makes everything we're doing worthwhile.
It's day 16 16 of the government shutdown.
Republicans' attempts to reopen the government with a stopgap measure that would extend funding until November has now failed to pass the Senate 9 times. After failing again Wednesday, Democrats have made clear they want to negotiate an extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. America's listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 7:03 and 63 degrees. A St. Charles County jury on Wednesday convicted Christopher Harper of murdering his girlfriend's brother and shooting his wife and teen daughter at their St. Peter's home in May of 23. Harper will be sentenced in December. A St. Louis police sergeant is jailed without bail after he hit a man on a moped while intoxicated during off-duty time, causing the man's lower leg to be amputated. That's according to charges filed on Wednesday. 44-year-old Chris Murray had a blood alcohol limit of .096. That's slightly over the legal limit in Missouri of .08. Murray is charged with DUI and second-degree assault, and he's held without bail. A developer's plan to build 470 homes west of Lake St. Louis hit a stumbling block on Wednesday as the county's zoning board was split on approving the 250-acre development right across from Timberland High School. The plans for trailside farms will continue to be reviewed and debated by county zoning officials after concerns about traffic on Highway N, water supply, and the impact on Wentzville schools were brought forward by neighbors. In sports, the Blue Jays came out swinging in Seattle. Toronto pounded the Mariners in the ALCS 13-4. The Mariners still lead that series 2-1. Game 4 tonight at 7. The NLCS resumes tonight in L.A. The Dodgers up 2-0 on the Brewers. And the Blues returned home last night to start a 4-game homestand. The Blackhawks hammered the Blues 8-3 as backup goalie Joel Hofer gave up 7 goals. It is 7:04, 63 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
For an accident reported on northbound 141 past Old Woods Mill Road. They're saying the 2 left lanes and the left shoulder are blocked, so be careful through there. And there was an accident westbound 94 at 364, but they've moved that one off. It's on the left-hand shoulder, so hopefully it's not quite as bad. Now, there is some volume out west on southbound 61, right there at 64, which is slowing at Prospect, but then 64 opens up, and 70 looks good still out west into downtown. We've got northbound 270, a little bit slow at Gravois, and then again Doherty Ferry on up through, looks like it's Ladue Road before that opens up. Northbound 55, just some moderate volume at 67 and at Bayless. On the Illinois side, there is a little bit of moderate volume that appears on the Poplar Street Bridge. And eastbound 64, a little bit slow near Greenmount Road, all due to road work. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property, manage vegetation, and clear land for better views. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
A nice start this morning, but we have another October warm-up this afternoon, much like yesterday. Sunshine, 83 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, 61. Friday, partly sunny, back to 83, 84 degrees. Some showers moving in after midnight Friday night. Saturday, showers, a few thunderstorms. A beneficial rain for the Saturday. 78 for the high. Sunday, partly sunny and fall returns. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
7:07 and 63 degrees right now. Don't forget, you can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you anytime, anywhere. All you need to do is download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome back. Sorry to make you wait through the bump music there for a minute. I'll get in trouble for that later, but that's okay. Trying to cue up some sound here for the short list and make sure we got all that ready to go. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show a few minutes after 7. Listen, had a great interview last hour with Bret Baier from Fox News. He was up early on this Thursday morning because he's got a new book out about Teddy Roosevelt, but we talked about all the big stories that are going on. The government shut down, all of that. You can always hit the rewind button on the Odyssey app or go to the podcast, which is easy to find wherever you download your podcast. You can go to our website, 971talk.com, or wherever you'd like to go. But if you ever miss anything, we put it all up on the podcast for you.
Yeah, had a great segment with Tom Ackerman, too. I love that guy. He doesn't walk around the studio anymore. He just, floats. Have you noticed? He is like on cloud 9, man, with his Indiana Hoosiers.
Team is doing so well.
Third ranked in the country, beat the crap out of Oregon last week. He is literally on cloud 9. He just walks around with a smile on his face all the time.
Earlier, Dan, we were talking after sports about the parity in college football these days.
Yeah.
That's a living example of it. I mean, Indiana's got a bottomless NIL base, I'm sure, because of their support they get from their alum, and right there. I mean, in just a few years now, they've been competitive, but they haven't been top tier. And this year, it looks like they've climbed into that top tier of teams so far.
Oh my gosh!
Wouldn't you say top 3?
Oh my gosh! I mean, I think they literally are going to contend for the national championship. I mean, Oregon is a very, very good football team, and their defense just shut them down.
Well,
in Oregon, so.
I just hope the Tigers bounce back. They should feel good about that loss to Alabama if that's possible. I mean, in other words, they could have won that game. Like that last play where the interception, there was a receiver wide open that would easily put him in a position to tie the game at least and go into overtime, if not score a touchdown. I mean, there were missed opportunities. They could have won. They should have won that game.
Yeah,
and now they have to go play at Auburn, which is going to be a tough environment. But I'm hoping they can pull that out because that could also. Even though Auburn's not ranked, playing Auburn at home is tough.
Yeah.
And that could really boost their season.
The Auburns, the Georgias, the Alabamas of the world don't beat themselves, and that's what Mizzou did. The undisciplined penalties in the first half, the targeting penalty, just some of the things, the taunting. I mean, that kind of stuff you can't do in big games, the whole taunting part, I don't get it. I don't understand why coaches aren't clamping down more on their players to stop this post-play celebration crap. To me, it's disrespectful to your opponent. Act like you've done it before, right? Go out there, hit the crap out of somebody, and get up and don't make a big celebration about it just because this is what I do. Right? This is who we are, and this is what I do. We don't need to celebrate every single tackle, every single sack.
Act like you've been there.
We don't have to run to the end zone and put a dance on. I mean, it's like, gosh, can we just act like we're professionals or in this case, great college players who just know how to make plays and get up and get ready for the next play. I'm so tired of the taunting, and now they're throwing flags for it, and let's hope that Tigers get it under control because they are bad at it.
Completely unnecessary, for sure. Right. Hey, by the way, we got Jim Talent coming up. We'll get his take on what's going on with this Middle East peace deal and the fact that Hamas seems to be bucking things just a little bit.
Yeah, just killing their own people.
Yeah, it's true. That's coming up here about 7:22. Eben Brown from Fox News Radio at the bottom of the hour because the president today is holding a news conference with Kash Patel. I don't know what's up with that, but we're going to talk more about what we're expecting to hear out of all of that. Of course, Shannon Bream, Griff Jenkins still coming up as well. Right now, I want to get to our short list.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
Well, some people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
Who are those people? I talked to Bret Baier earlier. He's like, we have yet to identify who those people are.
It's the people living in her head.
Woo!
Yeah.
We just don't know. They're living in some Venn diagram there somewhere.
Not all Democrats are crazy, but the left that controls their party is, as I think represented by this individual who looks like he's going to be the next mayor of one of our great cities.
Yeah, Jim Jordan talking about Zohran Mamdani, who, oh, by the way, thinks if you hit a certain income level, you should automatically be taxed at 52% of your income should go to the government. And he'll look you in the eyes and tell you he's not a socialist.
Wow.
I see you pointing at me.
Poison being dumped on by corporations like Deloitte and 3M, pouring chemicals into these places, and they want to call it a Democratic priority.
That is AOC last night at this town hall, who accused an accounting firm of poisoning the environment. She said Deloitte. She mentioned Deloitte, which is an accounting firm, is responsible for poisoning our rivers. I don't know if she's that dense or if she meant to say something else.
What?
Her words.
Oh, my God.
I know.
The idea in Section 2 is that we are responding to current day manifestations of past and present decisions that disadvantage minorities and make it so that they don't have equal access to the voting system, right? They're disabled.
Oh! Did you know that? Just out of interest, did you know that if you happen to be black, have you ever felt disabled?
Yeah, you're not capable of getting to an actual voting booth on election day because you're
not
disabled.
Capable of getting an ID because you're disabled. I mean, a sitting United States Supreme Court justice yesterday suggested you're not smart enough to live if you are black. I didn't say it. She said it. Yeah. It was part of their argument against the or part of her argument in favor of the Voting Rights Act, which of course what they did was the courts allowed them to gerrymander districts to make them minority majority districts, and it was worse than that. So I think every time you hear Ketanji Brown Jackson speak, you're a little dumber coming out on the other side of it. But her argument didn't hold water. She tried to compare it to the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, by saying people who are disabled need extra help. That's basically what she said about black people yesterday. Because you're black, you're disabled, and you need extra help. Now, I don't know about you, but this is kind of how I felt after hearing that.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Yes, indeed. It was
that's
one of the most insane.
Supreme Court justice. That to me is just, it's so insulting to the African American and minority communities to make that assumption.
It should be.
Yeah,
But what are they? What are they afraid of losing political power here? Dan?
Well, yeah, but keep in mind you can't live in society without an ID.
Right.
And if you think that somehow that's discriminatory at a voting booth, at a polling place, that we're asking for an ID, you can't buy liquor, you can't buy, cigarettes, you can't open a bank account, you can't survive in society without a legal ID. There is nothing you can really do. You can't exchange money. You can't have a job. You can't hold a job without a legal ID.
But if you're disabled, you can argue that somebody should have to help you with those things. She's arguing that black people are disabled. I mean, it's that obnoxious.
That their skin color is what makes them disabled. That's unbelievable.
Quickly here, let me get to Sonia Sotomayor having herself shut down by this brilliant lawyer who was leading this argument yesterday for the DOJ. Listen to the argument that she tries to make about race-based districting. Go to cut 7, please.
You could control for partisan effect. There was racially polarized voting even within the Democratic Party. That's where Section 2 matters, where you have a reason to think that a racial group is being treated.
Here too. You have proof of that here.
No, you don't. What you have here is that Republicans and Democrats are different. There's no.
You have some that even white Republicans or white Democrats won't vote for black candidates.
Right, but if these were white Democrats, there's no reason to think they would have a second district. None. And so what is happening here is their argument is because these Democrats happen to be black, they get a second district. If they were all white, we all agree they wouldn't get a second district. That is literally the definition of race subordinating traditional principles.
Wow. Yeah.
He just turned it around on her. He goes, you're creating a special class here because they are black Democrats. If they were white Democrats, you couldn't dare make the argument that they deserved their own congressional district.
Right.
That makes it racist, basically, right? It's racial discrimination to do that. And I think by blowing her argument out of the water like that, he won the argument. I'd be stunned if they don't overturn this.
For her to dare make the assumption that white Republicans would never vote for a black person is absurd.
Oh, I know.
Is absurd. I mean,
it's
that in and of itself is a racist comment.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. All
Don't
right.
tell me what I think. Thank you, Supreme Court Justice.
Let me get to the commercial break here because we do have Jim Talent coming up, former, of course, Missouri Senator, former candidate for Defense Secretary of the War Department, I should say. I want to get his take on what's going on in the Middle East right now. We'll be right back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
There is an accident right now on northbound 141 past Old Woods Mill, and the 2 left lanes are blocked. It is causing a massive backup, and it's jammed back south of Clayton Road. I know a lot of people whose commute goes along northbound 141, and as you head for 64, that's what we've got this morning. Now, we also have the usual volume on northbound 55. Moderate at 67, at 270. Heavier around Union and Bayless in the construction zone. Northbound 270, moderate volume in pockets. 55 on up through 64. And eastbound 64, some slow-moving traffic out at Prospect, but it's really heavy. On either side of 94, there's an accident reported east of 94 causing that delay. If you've got a choice, 364 looks great and 70 looks fine at this hour as well. Headed in from Illinois, it's still pretty quiet out there. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. They have the largest, most beautiful showroom in all of St. Louis. It's full of the latest, most custom designs. It's in Chesterfield Valley. There you'll see why they say creativity unlimited, quality unsurpassed. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Time to talk about your furnace and your air conditioner because it really is one system. They require each other to work properly. At least your air conditioner depends on your furnace. So when you get a checkup by my friends at Air Comfort, they check the entire system to make sure that it's working properly. If that blower motor is not working properly, the heat exchanger is cracked or not working properly, you need to get that fixed. So they check mine twice a year because I am part of their preferred partner plan. Now, that sounds exclusive, but it's not. You too can be a member of the preferred partner plan. You get priority service if you have a problem. You get a discount on new equipment. You get discounts on diagnostic calls and repairs. Call them up today. Tell them I want the same deal Marc Cox has got. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Air Comfort also does emergency service calls. So if you put this off and then your furnace stops working when we get that first really below freezing day, they'll be there for you because Air Comfort service, heating, cooling, and insulation has been around for well over 50 years now, taking care of the entire St. Louis area. Give them a call. Tell them you heard about it from Marc Cox. 314-513-0091 or aircomfortservice.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money.
Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
Make the most of fall and have an outdoor space that you actually love that's built to last. Lakeside Renovation and Design builds custom decks, screened-in porches, covered patios, and they use these durable, low-maintenance materials like composite decking and aluminum railings. They're going to make sure you have the perfect setup so you can host your family and friends for backyard barbecues or just sit outside and enjoy the morning coffee even when it's raining. Don't wait until the spring to start planning the space that you want to enjoy next year. Start with a free consultation. Visit lakesiderd.com, lakesiderd.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Missouri Grit. Marc Cox on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
How long will it take Hamas to disarm, and can you guarantee that is going to happen?
Well, they're going to disarm, and because they said they were going to disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them.
How will you do that?
I don't have to explain that to you. But if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games.
All right, former Missouri Senator Jim Talent on the line with us, as we are lucky enough to have him every Thursday morning. Jim, how are you?
I'm fine, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do you think the president means by that? American boots on the ground in Gaza seeking out Hamas holdouts?
No. Israeli boots, which are already on the ground in Gaza. I mean, I think when this agreement was reached, I believe I said on the show that it was checkmate for Hamas. Because if they hadn't done it, Israel would just have gone on to capture all of Gaza City, destroy the tunnel infrastructure, and kill the Hamas fighters that they flushed out. If they did it, they would have to return the hostages, the living ones anyway, and give up their leverage over Israel. And then if they didn't comply with the rest of the deal, the two most important components are Israel's going to continue destroying the tunnels and they're going to disarm. Then Israel would go ahead and do that anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's, I think, what the president means. And I think people in the Middle East and around the world now understand when he says something, he means it. So I expect to see some action soon. And the Israelis are still still occupying over half of Gaza. So we'll see what happens, but the whole position has changed for the better for the United States in that region.
Senator Dan Buck here. I would love to get your take on the shutdown. We're now into day 16. No real end in sight. I remember back in the day when you were a senator, both you and Kit Bond, if we were working on legislation, whether it be for homelessness or for housing or whatever it was, you could pick up the phone and literally call to get co-sponsors of bills across the aisle. Does that environment still exist, or has it just become so polarized in Washington where they don't even talk to one another to try to gain some type of consensus here?
Yeah, Dan, that's a great question. I think the environment still exists on issues that are not as that don't resonate so much politically. The problem is that you can't if you're not working on bills. In other words, if you're not trying to do the business of government, then it doesn't make a lot of difference whether you call somebody up to co-sponsor bills, right?
Yeah.
And the Democrats have got themselves behind the 8 ball here because it's not good for them if the government remains shut down. That's not a plus, but it's worse for them politically at this point if they give in and do what they should have done all along. So until that, and this has been this shutdown is like most shutdowns. It's political in nature, and until the politics of it changes, I don't think they're going to give up. And because, as I said, it's worse having done it, having shut the government down now for so long, having as an excuse said we have to get A, B, C, and D, which includes medical benefits for illegal aliens. If they don't get something like that, then their own base asks, well, what was all this for? And they end up worse with their base than they were at the beginning, when the whole point was to try and cure their problem there. So they're behind the 8 ball. I don't know how they're going to get out from under it, but I'm going to wait and see.
You don't see us caving? You don't see Republicans caving?
No, but I do think that they're trying. There's discussions going on all the time to try and give the Democrats enough of a fig leaf so they can back off of this. And if they don't, if you look down the road and this continues, then I think Senator Thune is going to have to consider how he can round up the votes just to do this without them. Because, look, I'm not a big fan of the federal government, but there are things it does that we need to have done, and the people have to get paid.
Yeah.
Particularly in the military. Now, Trump is trying to get them paid anyway, but you've heard all the stories, and it's correct. If you're a young service member and you're earning $2,500 a month, you can't go without a paycheck indefinitely. You just can't.
It's true. Jim, thank you as always for your time on a Thursday morning.
You're welcome, guys.
All right. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Speaking of the military needing help, we heard from my friend down at JB Patriot's Pantry, Jefferson Barracks. She said she had a lot of people come down and make donations after our story with her the other day.
Great.
If you're one of those people, thank you, because it all goes to veterans and veterans' families and active duty military. We'll be back in just a minute.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Dad, that's what Grandpa Rip always said.
That's right. 50 years ago, Grandpa started Grasser, and whenever a customer called, he'd smile and say, "Hey, it's good to see you."
Hey, it's good to see you.
It was his way of treating people like neighbors, not numbers. That's why we still say it today.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Well, very shortly, my friend Curtis Carell is going to start a job just up the street from me. One of my neighbors, Bill, took my advice and invited Curtis over to take a look at his roof, and they've decided to go ahead and get that new roof put on. I'm telling you, you want somebody you can trust when it comes to this, because I don't know anything about roofing. Maybe you do. I trust Curtis. He's been at this a long time. He's a veteran. He's a family man. He's honest. He's going to give you the roof that he promises you. Because if you're like me and you've never been up on a roof like that when it's being put on, you don't know if they're doing what they promised you or not. They pay attention to detail. They specialize in luxury line roofing as well, if that's what you're in need of. Here's the phone number: 314-222-9529. 314-222-9529. That's going to get you to Curtis at Corel Roofing Company. You can also check him out online. Tell him Marc Cox sent you. CorelRoofingCo.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It's 7:30 and 62 degrees. A St. Charles County jury on Wednesday convicted Christopher Harper of murdering his girlfriend's brother and shooting his wife and teen daughter at their St. Peter's home back in May of 23. Harper will be sentenced in December. A developer's plan to build 470 homes west of Lake St. Louis hit a stumbling block on Wednesday. The county zoning board was split on approving the 250-acre development, which is right across from Timberland High School. The plans for Trailside will continue to look at questions and concerns on traffic along Highway N, water supply, and the impact on Wentzville schools. In sports, the Blue Jays came out swinging last night in Seattle. They pounded the Mariners 13-4. Game 4 tonight will be at 7 o'clock. The NLCS resumes tonight. Dodgers up 2-0 on the Brewers in that series. The Blues, they got home last night for a 4-game homestand. They got hammered by the Blackhawks 8-3. That's your headlines. It's 7:31 and 62 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Northbound 141 drivers, if you take that to 64 this morning, there is an accident past Old Woods Mill, and they've been blocking the 2 left lanes and the left shoulder. That leaves only 1 lane getting by, and we have a parking lot jam behind this thing that is close to getting back to Manchester, but not quite. So give yourself extra time or take an alternate route this morning. Clarkson isn't bad if you want to try that. But we have plenty of volume on eastbound 64. A little out at Prospect Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Well, there was an accident east of 94, so that caused a delay. And then we've got slow pockets through Big Bend. Westbound lines up from Hampton out through Hanley. Southbound 270 slow, headed for Ladue Road. And northbound is the usual volume, 55 on up through 64. 55 northbound is jamming at Bayless in the construction zone. And there's a little bit of volume on the Illinois side. Westbound 64 at 70 and a little bit across the Poplar Street Bridge. This report is brought to you by the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. You know, retirement can kind of sneak up on you. I mean, it takes a long time to get there. You've saved some money, but then you start to think, man, I'm getting close to this. Are we prepared? Am I prepared? And that's a good question. Because if you do not have a written retirement financial plan in place, you aren't prepared. Now, I like to understand how things work. I just want to understand anything before I make any kind of commitment. And this is why I like financial and tax architects. Their idea is, yes, let's tell people how retirement works, how to get the most out of your taxes, how to protect your investment. And they put on a class called Retirement Planning 101 and hold them at colleges throughout the area. So you go, you have to register, it's free. Call 314-888-5101, 314-888-5101. Go and learn and start to get a handle on it, and then go from there. You will feel better. 314-888-5101.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon.
Something tells me I'm into something good.
And The Lovin' Spoonful.
Do you believe in magic?
Saturday, October 25th at the Family Arena with the Hollies' greatest hits, starring Terry Sylvester. Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon and The Lovin' Spoonful.
Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. With John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. shooting star.
Last chance to believe in yourself.
In Missouri. Saturday, November 15th, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Still leading 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
All right, welcome back. Lots going on in Washington. Have you seen this little flare-up over the Arizona representative who got elected in a special election? And she's claiming that Mike Johnson won't swear her in because she would be the 218th vote on a petition to release the Epstein files. Johnson says that's not true, but that's part of what's going on today. Now, speaking of the Epstein files, Kash Patel is planning on having a news conference today at some point with President Trump. We don't know what all that's about, but maybe Eben Brown does with Fox News Radio. He's covering that story today. Eben, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Never a dull moment. What's going on today with the president and the director of the FBI?
So the press conference was yesterday. And it was a press conference to announce crime numbers, crime statistics in the cities where the federal government has deployed assets, namely the FBI and others, to help combat violent crime, often to the chagrin of local leaders, like, for instance, in Chicago and in Portland, where they say they don't need the federal help, where President Trump says, oh, yes, you do. So some of those numbers have been drastically reduced. The mayors in those towns have said that, the crime was coming down anyway. But the president has made fighting violent crime, specifically things that are gang and drug related, a cornerstone of his new administration. And he even admits that he really didn't have these plans while running for office, that he had crime as an issue, but as it related more towards border matters. But he's seen that there has been a need for the federal government to step in some of our bigger cities where crime is running rampant and people are not safe.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that San Francisco would likely be the next one because as it is, as per his words, a mess.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll give a big welcome carpet to both ICE officials and the FBI. One thing that I found interesting was the feedback that came from both Memphis police and D.C. police, just talking about how the support of both ICE as well as the National Guard has allowed them to execute warrants. A lot of outstanding warrants have been executed, which is why those numbers were so high that they released yesterday. And they said that just frees up their police to actually do police work instead of patrol.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, extra manpower in any scenario is always going to be more helpful, right? I mean,
right.
That's always going to be the case. And the FBI has really stepped into, because FBI does have some purview, especially with regard to trafficking and whatnot. And even Kash Patel, the FBI director, said that they've already this year nabbed 4 of the people on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
Yeah.
As compared to during the Biden administration, where 4 were arrested over the whole course of the 4-year term. So that's I would say, a pretty big improvement. Of course, 4 come off the list, 4 new people end up on the list. It's a never-ending list. But the point is that there has been a major step up here. And yes, it has come at the ire of mayors and governors in Democratic cities and states that say that this is just a political posturing move by the president, and it's not really doing it.
Well, here's the thing, Stephen Miller's a little bit of a lightning rod for the administration on this, but I thought the point he made yesterday about J.B. Pritzker, I think was spot on. Let me play this for people that hadn't heard it. This is just a part of what he said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a fool and he's a moron, but also, most importantly, Sean, he hates America. And let's just be honest about it. You can't love your country and then fight President Trump to keep murderers murdering.
Yeah, but I mean, I think my argument on this, Eben, is to a Governor Pritzker, if he ever would agree to come on my show, would be, what's your number? I mean, how many murders a year are okay with you? And if you've seen a blueprint in Washington, D.C., for example, or Memphis, on how you could reduce those numbers, why wouldn't you want to enroll in that.
Well, I think if I could make it even more reductive than that, I think one of the things the new Trump administration has done very, very well, and Stephen Miller certainly part of this, is it really puts the argument as in, why are you against fighting crime?
Yeah.
Why are you for murder? I mean,
it's what they're defending, right?
Yeah, they have put their political adversaries, in this case Democrats, really into their own painted corner, and it's never something that they're going to win, because if you're going to go for re-election and say I prevented federal cops from apprehending gang-related murderers, it doesn't look good. So the Trump administration knows that, and they've worked that to their benefit, and of course to the benefit of people, because there is a reduction in crime that is palpable. Whether or not it was happening on its own without federal involvement is an argument some people will make and some people won't accept. And that's, I think, kind of secondary to the idea that the streets are getting safer in some of these cities. And that's what most people care about.
Yeah, and ultimately, for the people that live there, I mean, I don't know what things are like in where you are in Florida, but for the people we talk to in D.C., they're like, yeah, it was kind of a relief to get to know you could go out to dinner at night and not have to worry about maybe being carjacked or robbed on the way home.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes a difference. Look, every city's going to have certain bad neighborhoods or whatnot. I think that kind of goes with it. But, when you're on the main thoroughfare and you can't walk down the street during daylight hours without risk of being assaulted, then you've got a problem in your city.
You certainly do. Eben Brown, thank you for your time this morning.
Welcome.
Absolutely. Eben Brown from Fox News Radio. I want to play that full Stephen Miller bite, because I've only played the beginning of it, maybe 15 seconds of it. Listen to this professional takedown of J.B. Pritzker.
Well, I mean, he's a fool and he's a moron, but also, most importantly, Sean, he hates America. And let's just be honest about it. You can't love your country and then fight President Trump to keep murderers murdering. Just think about that for a second. President Trump is saying, let us work with you, with the FBI, with ICE, with ATF, with DEA, with the National Guard, to stop the murdering in your city. And Pritzker is saying he wants to protect the murderers, the people that are shooting dozens and dozens of people every single week. Chicago is more dangerous than Baghdad. It's more dangerous than Mexico City. So shame on Pritzker, and God bless President Trump for fighting for the citizens of this country, Sean.
Yeah. I don't know how you can argue with that.
Well, and that's a fact. I mean, it is more dangerous. More people die on the streets of Chicago than die in Baghdad, die in other war-torn areas. In fact, we've lost more people in Chicago in 5 years than we lost in the entire Afghanistan war. Think about that.
It's the brilliance, I think, of the strategy here. Just like he said, is you've hemmed them into having to defend the murder rate in Chicago by saying, oh, everything's okay here. We only lost 500 people last year. What's wrong with you?
And isn't it funny how he picks and chooses what part of the Trump administration federal support he wants to get? Because if it was coming from education, right, he'd take all the money in the world for his, education nightmare that he's got going in Chicago. If the money was coming for housing, he'd accept it. If the money was coming from Department of Labor, he'd accept it. But because it's coming from ICE and it's becoming from Homeland Security, he doesn't want it. He doesn't want protection. He doesn't want to stop crime, but yet he'll take all this other federal aid. Is he going to tell the FBI to stop working in Chicago? Is he going to tell the Homeland Security to stop doing the airports? I mean, think about it. He's fighting federal government intervention on illegal immigrants in communities that are committing crimes, by the way. In large volumes. They've already arrested murderers and child traffickers and all kinds of things. Yet he says he doesn't want that federal help from Trump, and Trump is evil for offering that. But he's more than willing to take the other things coming from the Trump administration.
And like Eben Brown said, he said, listen, it's not necessarily something I campaigned on, the idea of doing this, but when we did it in Washington and it worked so well, why wouldn't you take that blueprint and use it somewhere else? He warned you about cleaning up illegal immigration. And quite frankly, I don't see a difference. Like, I want them to get the worst of the worst out, get rid of them first. But if you're here illegally, you're here illegally.
Yeah.
And if you end up swept up in one of these raids and you're here illegally and you get sent back to your country, I'm sorry, don't cry to me. You broke into the country. There's a legal immigration process. We accept 1 million people a year. We're the most generous country on earth with our immigration policies. You didn't have to cheat to get here. It's like you wouldn't stand in line for 2 hours at Disney and let somebody cut in front of you right before you got onto the ride. What's the difference? You'd get kicked out of the park.
Yeah.
So in this case, you're going to get kicked out of the country. And you had plenty of warning that was coming, and now we're hearing this belly aching from people like Daniel on the Facebook feed here this morning. All right, I'll get off the soapbox. We'll let Dan get on his soapbox when we come back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, some good news. Crews cleared that accident that was causing a huge delay. Northbound 141 south of 64. All lanes are now open. We do have an accident westbound 370 past 141 on the right side. Ooh, wait, it's just taking off. So never mind. And traffic should thin out there briefly. Now, eastbound 70, a little slow near Highway K, but then it opens up. 64, some moderate volume at Prospect and near Winghaven, and again at Timberlake Manor, just in pockets through Big Bend, with westbound starting to line up near Hampton. Now, northbound 270, the usual volume, that's 21 all the way up through 64. 44 eastbound, a little slow by Edgar Road this morning, just east of Elm. And northbound 55 slowing at Bayless in the construction zone. Headed in from Illinois, there's some volume headed for and crossing the Poplar Street Bridge westbound. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Climate Masters. We specialize in older homes. Climate Masters Heating and Cooling. Trusted heating and cooling installation and maintenance service. Keeping the St. Louis Metro comfortable since 1978. Call us today at 314-968-8383. Climate Masters.
Are you paying attention? Did you hear meteorologist Dave Murray say that Saturday we're very likely to get, at the very least, a good soaking rain. I guess there could be some thunderstorms along with that. If you have a basement that leaks, those are scary words to you, because a soaking rain means the ground starts to soak up that water and get filled up. That's usually when that hydrostatic pressure will start pushing in on your basement walls. The water leaks in through the cracks, and then you've got the same headache over and over again. Don't live like that. Call Home Shield Foundation Repairs. Let Matt come out and take a look at where the problem is. You've seen it. You know where the water comes in. There are probably stains there. He's the foundation expert. He'll come out personally. So you're not getting the top sales guy. You're getting the owner of this small company who's going to give you a lifetime guarantee on his work. If he seals that crack, he'll guarantee you it's not going to leak again. Trust him and let him come out and give you a free estimate, knowing that he's not just there to beat you up and do work that you don't need. 314-227-9636. Let's get that taken care of before the next problem pops up. Go online and check him out. Be sure to tell him you heard Marc Cox bragging about him. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Hi, it's Griff Jenkins. Happy 25th to 97.1 FM Talk. This station has been part of my life for years, and to me, it means connecting with my talk radio roots, so thanks for being the conservative voice of St. Louis.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Eggland's Best.
The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Hey guys, Sid Glockencold here from Tactical in St. Peter's. Today, conservatives and Christians are being targeted with violence more than ever. Stop in and get what you need to protect your family and your flock. Tactical Cave Springs and St. Peter's.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. And you know, your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer in the country, Generator Supercenter. We learned the hard way here in St. Louis during the tornado recently that power can be knocked out. But even outside of that, what if the power grid fails and it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis? You don't want to be that person. Get with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis today. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Tell them that we sent you along.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. But don't give a f.
It's Thankful Thursday. And I think this one actually would work for Warrior Women Wednesday, too. I wasn't here yesterday, so it kind of kills two birds with one post.
That's true.
That's right. I'm just grateful for all the brave moms out there who are on social media. Doesn't matter whether they're going after school districts. Mama bears are getting the truth out there. And again, these are people that normally you'll never hear on mainstream media because they don't want their voices to be heard. They don't want the general public input on certain topics, and I'm just so proud of the people given their bold beliefs and conservative convictions on social media. Today's warrior, I want to honor and focus. Her name is Roxanne. You can find her on Facebook at Roxanne Unwoke Mom. She talks about the shutdown in this particular one, but she's got all kinds of great topics. She's out there almost every day with something. She's got about 12,000 followers on Facebook, but 239,000 people follow her on TikTok. And this particular one is about the shutdown and the left's refusal to pay our military during the shutdown. Here we go.
I'm not arguing with you guys because this is no longer a shutdown. This is a hostage situation. Wait, they want to sue him for paying military members during a government shutdown. To every Democrat and liberal out there, why the do you guys stand by this? So they're out here fighting for health care for illegal immigrants, but they want to sue the Trump administration for paying for military members' salaries during a shutdown. No, you know what? This isn't a shutdown. This is a hostage situation because give us what we want or else. Shouldn't it be America first? Shouldn't we be worried about paying our military members, the ones who are out there keeping us safe? But no, they want to make sure that military members don't get paid. They are asking, well, where's all this random money from the tariffs coming from to keep the women and infant children's program open? So wait a minute, you mean to tell me that you guys knew exactly what was going on, you knew exactly how much money was there, and yet you just want to make sure that gets allocated to illegal immigrants, but for what? Oh, I think we all know. You guys are losing voters by the day. Every single thing that comes out, like, I don't know, peace in the Middle East, that he is solving for you guys are losing voters. You are losing people on your side, and now you're desperate that you have to go and create voters.
Yep, they're creating voters with their illegals, and that's why they're fighting so hard to protect them. Go give her a follow. Her name is Roxanne. It's Roxanne Unwoke Mom. She's also on TikTok at Rox.InRealTime. So Rox in real time, ROX in real time. You'll find her on TikTok. She's got a ton of followers on TikTok.
Maybe I need to start one that says Cox in real time.
Cox in real time.
No, you think they take that the wrong way?
Yeah, probably
okay.
so.
Okay.
Yep. But anyway, she's awesome, and I just love all of these moms out there getting active, getting after it, and speaking the truth.
And being real, like you said, right? Like she dropped a F-bomb in the middle of that somewhere, but she's just being real.
Yeah,
that's the thing about it. If you're really angry and passionate about something, that might happen on occasion. Thank God we've got a dump button down here.
Yeah, I will put a PG-13 out there. She does occasionally let a few F-bombs fly, but it's out of passion. It's just out of her own frustration with what's going on and what she sees from the left on a daily basis. But her arguments are always well-founded. I think she does a great job, and she's very spirited. That's which I like about her. Spirited. That's a good word for her. Go Roxanne.
Calling them out on their BS
That's right.
for absolutely sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. I love it. I love it, Dan. Great
All
job.
right, man. What do we got? What do we got coming up next hour?
Shannon Bream. Listen to the hit parade we've had on the air this morning. Bret Baier, the anchor of Fox News on earlier today, we talked about a lot of the big stories. He's got a new book coming out on Teddy Roosevelt, which we talked about. You can pick that up on the podcast. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Shannon Bream at about 8:20. Of course, she hosts Fox News Sunday. She's the chief correspondent for the Supreme Court. Big cases argued there yesterday. I thought Ketanji Brown Jackson and Sonia Sotomayor absolutely had their lunch handed to them yesterday in some of these arguments. I'm anxious to see what Shannon and her legal mind think about how that all went on this Voting Rights Act situation. That could radically change midterms, and if these districts are all redrawn because they've been gerrymandered for strictly racial reasons. That could change everything. Then we got Griff Jenkins coming up. Quite a rundown in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll be right back. Well, if you've never been to Lit Cigar Lounge, let me tell you, you are missing out because it is a fantastic place, and always see new people down there who say, hey, thank you for telling me about this. This is fantastic. We hadn't been over here before. Maybe you had an opportunity to go out for Cars and Cigars back in August, and that gave you your first taste of a Lit Cigar Lounge, and it's fantastic. It is luxurious, but it's comfortable. There's nobody down there is pretentious. You go in and you have a great cocktail, have a cigar if you want. They have the best hand-rolled cigars from the finest cigar makers around the world. They've got the best bourbons you can get your hands on. I love their barrel-aged old-fashioned there. Go try it. Perfect for date nights. They got live music every Friday night, and the owners are great. Brian and Dana and Andrew, you're going to love them. Go check them out in person at the district in Chesterfield, or go online to litstl.com.
Public schools, like public libraries, should be free and open to all. Open enrollment allows parents to choose the school that's the best fit for their children. Maybe another school has a wider curriculum, is bigger or smaller. Maybe a kid is being bullied and would be more comfortable at another school. 75% of parents favor open enrollment. Open enrollment programs now exist in 43 states, and Missouri should join them. Our next-door neighbor, Kansas, has one of the strongest open enrollment policies in the nation. Kansas parents are trusted with choices and options, while Missouri parents must move out of their home to change public schools. And it's a trend. Nationwide, the percentage of students going to their chosen public school has steadily increased. Assigning kids to schools based on their zip code is the old way. Open enrollment is a better way. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
They keep digging and searching through the rubble in Gaza. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. For more dead hostages, Hamas has to return to Israel as part of the Gaza ceasefire. Only 9 bodies have been handed over so far. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Mike Waltz, tells Fox.
No one will be left behind.
we will find their loved ones.
Hamas has said it can't find the other 19 and needs special equipment to help. 2 Americans are among those dead hostages, including Omer Nutra, killed in the October 7th, 2023 terror attack that triggered the war. His father, Ronan, just told Fox.
They need to come out. And the alternative, if they don't come out, this ceasefire is going to collapse. And this is going to be horrible. We may lose our boy forever.
Back to Ambassador Waltz. He also reacted to President Trump acknowledging there are covert CIA operations inside Venezuela after military strikes took out 5 drug boats, killing 27 alleged narco-terrorists.
President Trump is going to do whatever it takes and use all the tools in the toolkits from the intelligence community, from the Department of War, and of course diplomatically to defend U.S. sovereignty against actions that are actively killing Americans.
Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, who's wanted in the U.S. for drug trafficking, is warning that the U.S. is aiming for regime change. The government is shut down a 16th day. Another funding vote failed in Congress. Independent Senator Bernie Sanders tells a CNN town hall.
Republicans are catching on. They're playing a losing hand. They are going to come to the table finally and address the health care crisis that they've created.
Well, Republicans say they'll negotiate that once Democrats agree to a simple funding extension reopening the government. A woman is dead, 2 others missing in storm-ravaged Alaska, where National Guard troops had to rescue many others.
1,500 people are forced from their homes in 2 villages in western Alaska near the Bering Sea. Those villages, Kipnuk and Quigillinguk, are only reachable by water or air. Nearly every home is damaged or destroyed, some torn from their foundations, floating away with people inside.
That's Chris Foster. America's listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
97.1 FM Talk. I'm Dan Buck. It is 8:03 and 63 degrees. A St. Charles County jury on Wednesday convicted Christopher Harper of murdering his girlfriend's brother and shooting his wife and teen daughter at their St. Peter's home in May of 2023. The jury deliberated only 6 hours. The sentencing will come back in December. A St. Louis police sergeant is jailed without bail after he hit a man on a moped while intoxicated while he was off duty, causing the man's lower leg to be amputated. That's according to charges filed on Wednesday. 44-year-old Chris Murray had a blood alcohol limit of .096, slightly over the legal limit of .08. Murray is charged with DUI and second-degree assault, and he's held without bail. A developer's plan to build 470 homes west of Lake St. Louis is hit a little bit of a stumbling block on Wednesday. The county zoning board was split on approving the 250-acre development, which is right across from Timberland High School. The plans for Trailside Farms will continue to be reviewed and debated as some public concerns came forward on traffic along Highway N, water supply, and the impact on Wentzville schools. In sports, the Blue Jays came out swinging in Seattle. Toronto pounded the Mariners in the ALCS 13-4. Mariners still up in that series 2-1. Game 4 tonight at 7. The NLCS also resumes tonight in LA. The Dodgers up 2-0 on the Brewers. The Blues returned home last night to start a 4-game homestand. The Blackhawks hammering the Blues 8-3. Backup goalie Joel Hofer gave up 7 of those goals. Next up is Dallas Saturday night. Face off at 6. It is 8:05. We've got 63 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got an accident on northbound 270 right at 6440, and they say MoDOT reporting it's on the ramp to westbound 64. So just take care through there. That has caused a delay behind it. and we've got slow pockets that go back through Gravois. Now, northbound 55 slowing at Bayless, headed into the work zone. Eastbound 70, just a little slow in the O'Fallon area this morning. Westbound slowing at Jennings Station Road. And 64 eastbound, just a slow pocket or two from Clarkson through Big Bend. Westbound still lines up, and that's around Hampton out through McCausland. Some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge and eastbound 64 as you head toward Greenmount Road in the construction zone on the Illinois side. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Climate Masters. We specialize in older homes. Climate Masters Heating and Cooling. Trusted heating and cooling installation and maintenance service. Keeping the St. Louis Metro comfortable since 1978. Call us today at 314-968-8383. Climate Masters.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
A nice start this morning, but we have another October warm-up this afternoon, much like yesterday. Sunshine, 83 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, 61. Friday, partly sunny, back to 83, 84 degrees. Some showers moving in after midnight Friday night. Saturday, showers, a few thunderstorms. A beneficial rain for the Saturday. 78 for the high. Sunday, partly sunny, and fall returns. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Don't forget, you can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you anywhere, anytime. All you need to do is go out on the App Store and download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, good morning to you, and welcome in on this Thursday morning. Another gorgeous day we're expecting out there. And enjoy it while it lasts. We're going to get a little bit of rain on Saturday, just in time for the big No Kings protest, Dan. What do you think about that?
Oh, I can't wait. Where are they at?
Why would Mother Nature not cooperate with this bunch of left-wing loonies?
Pours on them.
I think it's going to.
And they have every right to be out there. I want to make it clear. Mark and I are not saying you don't have the right to go out there and protest anything you want. Do it peacefully, because some of these, they're masters at having peaceful protests that somehow burn down buildings. But you just know nationwide something is going to happen. And it's like they count on it. They hope for it. They, in many ways they encourage it, that it gets out of hand. So many lawmakers are just flaming the fuel here. And we also know that there's foreign and domestic influence in these protests. They are not organic, right? They all will have, paid protesters at them, the spearheaders, the people who run the websites, the people. That is all paid for by people who hate this country.
That doesn't mean there aren't people showing up who aren't paid, but
no.
A lot of the prime organization is paid. And Senator Ted Cruz kind of made that point. I think he's got a new bill out that would basically go after people like Soros if he's actually using his foreign money to fund these kind of things just to stir things up, because deep down that's exactly what he's after. Listen.
And you look at this No Kings rally, and there's considerable evidence that George Soros and his network is behind funding these rallies, which may well be riots all across the country. And Soros is writing the check.
Yeah, he wants to use RICO. He wants to change the law so that you could use RICO against these multiple groups that are getting funding from the same source, but they're not necessarily connected. And then you could use the racketeering law to try to go after some of them. If you want to organize a rally at the end of your street, feel free to do that. If you're getting paid by a foreigner to do it just to stir up problems in America, that's a whole nother issue. And by the way, Dan, the answer to your question is Keener Plaza is where the assorted fruits and nuts will be on Saturday.
Gotcha.
The primary location is down here in Keener Plaza, just down the street from Busch Stadium. So that's what they're doing.
All right, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, have fun and bring a raincoat. Because
Meanwhile, the normal Americans will be enjoying family over the weekend, watching college football, doing normal American stuff and not wasting our weekend. Because I don't even understand the argument. What the Kings think, seriously. There is nothing Donald Trump has done. I mean, they'll point to the executive orders perhaps as saying, but okay, you didn't have a problem with it Obama doing it. You didn't have a problem with the auto pen doing it for Biden. But suddenly executive orders are a problem and you look at it as authoritarian? I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's all right when your side does it, but when Donald Trump uses the power of the executive order, you don't like it.
Well,
it's amazing to me.
Yesterday, they had arguments in front of the Supreme Court on this, the Voting Rights Act and the sort of discriminatory lines that have been drawn for some guaranteed minority-majority districts. And there were some great arguments made yesterday, not by sitting Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor or her friend Ketanji Brown Jackson. They kind of got chewed up, I thought. We're going to get Shannon Bream's take on all that coming up here in just a few minutes. She's going to be joining us from Fox News Sunday, and we'll get the very latest on that one for you. But first, we want to get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
The No Kings movement says they have more than 2,700 events planned across the country and, of course, here in the nation's capital, similar to the demonstrations last summer during President Trump's military parade.
Yeah. So they're back, baby. They're back Saturday all across the country. And coincidentally, it just seems to me it's probably likely the government will remain closed to give them one more thing to gripe about, and then they'll fix it next week sometime.
They want to give, who knows, billions of tax dollar paid money to illegals. They want to put illegals on health care. It can't get more mixed up than that. And then they wonder why, in case after case, and election after election, they just keep losing.
Yep. Josh Hawley yesterday talking about this government shutdown and what a fiasco it is. It failed again yesterday. I think it was the 7th or 8th vote they've had. And again, John Fetterman and one other Democrat, I think, voted with him, and that was it.
If you're making $1 million in New York City, or more than that, you can afford to pay 2% more. And the reasons you can afford to do so is because that money will be used to better your quality of life as well.
Zohran Mamdani, the Zohan, is going to come and take your cash. He wants you to pay 52% of your income in taxes because it's the only fair way to do it. You have made too much money, and the government needs to confiscate 52% of it. That's his argument, and he's probably going to be the next mayor of New York.
And if you think it's going to stop at 2%, I got a Brooklyn bridge. I got a Brooklyn bridge to sell you. Yeah, it's going to be way more than 2%.
Coming after more and more and more.
Yep.
And I grew up, and I know and I love people that voted for President Trump, but they are not fascists. They're not Nazis. They're not trying to destroy the Constitution, those things.
Yeah, that is John Fetterman. Last night he was on News Nation with Bill O'Reilly and Cuomo and the others there on News Nation, just answering questions, taking questions about things. The more you listen to the guy, the more common sense that comes out of his mouth. You have to ask yourself, why is he still a Democrat? Why does he still support this stuff when he sees his fellow Democrats? Like, he has voted to end the shutdown because he doesn't understand the nonsense. But the other thing he's preaching about is what you just heard there, and that is the rhetoric and the actual violent language that his fellow Democrats are using in many cases that, as he points out, led to the death of Charlie Kirk. Listen to this. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I grew up, and I know and I love people that voted for President Trump, but they are not fascists. They're not Nazis. They're not trying to destroy the Constitution, those things. And that's part of another thing. I refuse to call people Nazis or fascists, or I would never compare anybody to Hitler and those things. And now that kinds of extreme rhetoric is going to continue. We're going to be more likely in resulting in extreme kind of outcomes and political violence and doing all these kinds of things like Charlie Kirk. For me, all I could say is like, let people grieve. Give people the space. I'm not going to use that terrible thing and that Pasek assassination to make my argument and try to put out my views. It's like, my God, he's a father that had his neck blown out by a bullet. And now people have forgotten. President Trump was in my state, was shot in the head. And if that could you imagine where our nation would be if he was hit in the same way with Kirk? We really got to turn the temperature down. And we can agree to disagree on these kinds of things. But right now, shutting down the government, I just can't take it that.
Yeah. You see, he just understands that we can be different on policy, but we don't have to basically lob lies. I think he's calling his own party out, going, he's not a fascist. He's not Hitler. He's not. Why do you promote these things that only dial up the heat and the hatred in America when we have to come together? We've got to find common ground here. And while I don't agree with anything John Fetterman stands on social issues, it's so good for him to be able to recognize within his own party the venom and hate that they spew daily and call him out on it. I mean, it's just amazing to me that he has taken. They hate him. They absolutely hate the fact that he's talking common sense and he's saying, "Hey guys, come on, let's figure out where we have common ground and let's work on that." And that's what we used to do in Washington.
It's enough to make me almost forgive him for that stupid-looking hoodie he wears all the time, for sure. All right, coming up, Shannon Bream for Fox News Sunday. We'll be right back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got northbound 270 still lined up. We had a couple of incidents, and it's slow now north of Gravois up through 64. There was an accident really close to the ramp to westbound 64. Now there was one reported near Manchester, so just be careful through there. It's a slow go. Now eastbound 70 looks great. Wentzville into downtown. 64 still has some slow pockets between Clarkson and Big Bend, with westbound slowing near Hampton out through Hanley. Northbound 55 looks pretty good now. There was some moderate volume right around the Revis Barracks area, Bayless, but now it seems to be better. There is a bit of a slowdown westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
All right, Michael's Flooring Outlet has done a fantastic job for us over the years, and I feel confident they're going to do the same thing for you. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go out and check with the Better Business Bureau and all the ratings systems and how they rank them and what they do. Michael's Flooring Outlet has always been hardworking from the standpoint that when you walk in the door, the employees understand that if you don't have a good experience, you're not going to recommend them to your friends. You're not going to be a repeat customer. And a lot of their business comes from people like me who've bought flooring from them 4 different times now on 4 different occasions, from kitchen floors to full carpeting in my upstairs at my other house to full hardwood on the main floor in my current house. I came back because I had fantastic service, great prices, and I knew they were going to follow up after the installation to make sure I was happy with absolutely everything. It's that attention to detail that sets Michael's Flooring Outlet apart. He knows you're going to shop around. Mike Reynolds is a great guy. He's a smart businessman. He just wants you to give Michael's a chance at earning your business. Go check them out. They're in Old Town St. Peters. They're in West St. Louis County, and they're in Darden Prairie. You can go there, or you can get on their website, and they'll come to you. They'll bring you samples right to your house, anything to make it a little bit easier. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. Go online today to igotfloored.com.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 or more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. A CGM can immediately reduce pain. It's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Plus, get free shipping, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. Call now to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost.
Paid for by U.S. Medical Supply.
Call 800-611-6638. That's 800-611-6638. Again, 800-611-6638. That's 800-611-6638.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
The idea in Section 2 is that we are responding to current day manifestations of past and present decisions that disadvantage minorities and make it so that they don't have equal access to the voting system, right? They're disabled.
There's only one Shannon.
Shannon Bream, host of Fox News Sunday. Yeah, we're lucky enough to have Shannon on every Thursday. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you. So were you there, Shannon, when Ketanji Brown Jackson said that being a minority in this country makes you disabled?
You know, I was actually stuck on a plane yesterday.
Oh, were you? Okay.
So as soon as I landed, my producer, who'd been in the arguments, was like, you got to hear this.
Yeah.
So I wasn't there, normally would be, but I got stuck in a trouble snafu.
Nothing like fighting discrimination by saying that the discriminated are what was the word she used? Disabled was the word she used. Can you believe that she would use that kind of verbiage?
Yeah, and I feel like so many things are getting conflated in that argument yesterday about what the Voting Rights Act really is supposed to do and who does and doesn't have access. I think a lot of Black Americans would say, listen, we have access. We can go to the polls. We have our rights. There have been decades of fighting over that, and it's very unusual for anybody to claim these days that they can't get to the actual ballot box. I mean, it's a different conversation, I think, about congressional representation, and that's what this is all about, how those House seats are gerrymandered or districted, and can you use race if you're doing it to, quote, benefit a minority population, which in some way would, you know, these plaintiffs are arguing would then be discrimination against those non-minority plaintiffs who ended up, you know, wanting to vote and have their balance of representation as well. So we'll see what the court does.
Yeah, Judge Sotomayor kind of got her lunch handed to her, I felt, by the DOJ attorney when she tried to make the argument that white Republicans and white Democrats won't vote for black candidates. And he said, you know, the problem you got here is if you were setting aside a district to guarantee the election of a white Democrat, there's no way we could allow that. So why do we allow it the other way? Did I state that correctly?
I think that's the big question is if we're going to say you cannot use race in making these decisions about these districts, does that mean you can't use it in either direction?
Right.
And I think that's what we're going to get down to, this potentially being a huge change to Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which there have been several cases in recent years that have kind of nipped at potential changes here. But this case, which you know was argued back in March, the Supreme Court said, we're not going to decide last term. We want you to come back and look at this broader constitutional question. They know this is a case of potentially great magnitude in the way that districts are shaped and the way the Voting Rights Act is used all over the country. Has it gotten away from the original plan and original aim, which was to make sure there wasn't discrimination in voting and in access to voting? So this could potentially be the biggest Voting Rights Act case in, I'd say, decades.
Shannon, you are one of the best legal minds in mainstream media. Truly, I love your coverage of the Supreme Court. Did you get a chance? Did you get a chance to review the Tuesday hearing when they were talking about the conversion therapy and the Christian counselor who's claiming her violation of First Amendment rights are being violated in states like Colorado? They're saying she doesn't have the right to give speech that promotes, them staying in their same sex and helping them make the decision not to become transgender. Did that case, how was it received by the justices?
Very interesting, because it got into, is this a speech issue or is this regulating medical treatment, as states have the right to do? And one of the questions, I think it might have come from Justice Alito, was, okay, if somebody was standing outside on a sidewalk having a conversation or lobbying the public and saying, like, hey, if you consider this an unwanted thing in your life, this specific sexual attraction or gender dysphoria, you can change that. Could somebody on the corner stand and say that, but this person who is a counselor can't say it to a patient? And it raises all kinds of really interesting questions about, is this about speech? Is it about medical treatment? And why isn't it, if this is a very specific issue that the state wants to regulate, why isn't there a regulation in the other direction? Just like with these voting rights questions, you've got to look at the shoe on the other foot. What if you told somebody that they could come in and could counsel people, hey, you are a straight child, but you're interested in this gender dysphoria conversation or sexuality conversation. Let me help you see how you could change in that direction if that's what you're desiring.
Right.
But what this counselor is saying, it only works in one direction. If somebody comes to us, feels like this is unwanted and wants help walking away from it, we can't give them that kind of advice.
Right. They can counsel to support and affirm transgender, but they can't give alternative options and the Christian perspective on this. She was saying her Christian values were part of her counseling sessions, that she believes a God-based life is a better life for kids. And they're literally telling her she doesn't have the right to do that. They're revoking her therapy license.
Yeah, Shannon.
Essentially, I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry,
and I think there was plenty of skepticism there from the court about what Colorado's done with that law.
Yeah, before I run out of time, I understand the president might attend the arguments on redistricting, on tariffs, correct?
Yeah, he made that announcement yesterday. And again, I immediately texted my producer at the Supreme Court, like, we're going to have to sleep there overnight and go into the courtroom at 4 a.m. It's always tough to get in there on a big argument day. We as press do have a few reserve seats.
Yes.
But when the president's going to be there, the security level is a whole different situation. So it'll be very interesting because, he's not going to be able to say anything, but every one of us is going to be looking at him as these arguments go on to watch every expression, every sigh, every roll of the eyes. It'll be fascinating.
When will that be? Do you know when that
it's November 5th, and I believe it's the first argument, so it will be 10 a.m. Eastern. Yep,
right.
We'll be there.
Shannon, thank you. We'll be watching on Sunday morning.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. Yeah,
Thanks,
Shannon Bream, a host of Fox News Sunday.
One of the best.
She is great. We love having her on here. Up next, my buddy Griff Jenkins. One thing he's covering today is that Virginia Attorney General race that's heating up. We'll cover that when we get back here in a minute.
No need to get technical on heating and cooling. We all want our houses to cool, correct? When it's heating season, we want them to heat, correct? There's not much more to it than that, but I can give you some pointers and tips on the efficiencies, meaning the efficiencies of your house. What you can do to make your house more efficient, and then deciding on what system to purchase, therefore maximizing every single dollar you spent for a furnace and air conditioner. Not spending maximum dollars on a furnace and air conditioner because you're told of an efficiency rating, and that's it. So again, a common sense approach. When you start getting prices for new furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, the only number, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
All right, the Retirement Advisory Group does one thing. They help you protect what you've set aside to see you through retirement. How long is that going to last? Well, none of us know, right? So you need to have some guarantees in there. So talk to them about a structured income plan that is just for you, works for you. You know how much money's coming into the mailbox every month. It makes a big difference, and you're not at the whim of the ups and downs of the stock market. We've seen it. Maybe you watch your 401k every day. You shouldn't do that, really. But you do know that if it drops 50% the day before you retire, you're in deep doo-doo. This is one way to protect that. Call our friends Bob Kershaw and Tammy Kershaw at the Retirement Advisory Group. They, along with Thomas Helbig, have been providing these strategies for 38 years now. They'll be happy to help you, and they'll sit down and talk to you for free. Call them at 314-993-9494 or schedule online at retirementkey.com.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Oil prices are slightly higher after Trump says India promised to stop buying Russian oil. West Texas Intermediate currently sitting at $58.50 per barrel. Brent currently sitting at $62.13 per barrel. ANZ has forecast gold will reach $4,400 per ounce by the end of 2025, driven by mounting geopolitical, economic, and financial uncertainties alongside expectations of Federal Reserve monetary easing. ANZ also predicts that gold will peak at nearly $4,600 per ounce by June of 2026. Global investors have called on Toyota Motor to provide more disclosure about its planned buyout of group firm Toyota Industries, criticizing what they said was opaque valuation and a failure to safeguard the interests of minority shareholders. Toyota Industries is set to be taken private by Toyota. Futures are slightly higher. Wednesday, the Dow Industrials lost 17. The Nasdaq gained 148. The S&P 500 up 26. That's Your Money Now.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, if you are northbound on 270 or will be, we still have some volume out there, and it's mainly between 44 and 64. Southbound traffic, moderate volume at Ladue Road, and that's about it. Now, northbound Clarkson is a little bit slow at Baxter still. We had drivers had to use that as an alternate after we had a real jam due to an earlier accident on 141. Eastbound 70 looks great out west into downtown. 64, still some slow-moving traffic at Timberlake Manor, and then in pockets on either side of 170. Westbound, a slow go, Clayton Skinker through Hanley. Northbound 55 slowing at Bayless, and just a little volume every now and then westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing and Electrical. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broken, it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8, jerrykelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on, Jerry Kelly.
Let's talk about my friends at the Overhead Door Company. I will bring it up once again. Ethan is a satisfied customer who just got a new garage door from Overhead Door Company and smartly took advantage of the Cash for Clunkers deal because it's still going on right now, and grab it while you can. How about $200 or $300 off the cost of a new garage door from Overhead Door Company? They will give you $200 for your first garage door, $100 for each extra garage door. So you do the math. If you got a 3-car garage, guess what? $300 off replacing those doors with either some new beautiful garage door because you want to update the style of your house, or you just want a newer garage door that's insulated to protect your belongings over the coming colder winter months. Beautiful selections. Go to their website, overheaddoorstlouis.com. You can see what a difference this can make in the outside of your house. It really does change your curb appeal. Here's the other great thing. Overhead Doors, the original, been around almost 100 years. They do after-hours service. They won't leave you stuck if your garage is stuck up or down. Call Overhead Door Company, 314-781-5200 or overheaddoorstlouis.com.
When you ride, you feel the freedom of the open road. But when the road turns dangerous and an accident happens, the pain and confusion can be overwhelming. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, you need someone who understands. At Kaufman Townsley, we're your St. Louis neighbors. We live here, work here, and we know how important your recovery is. We'll fight for you so you can focus on healing. Kaufman Townsley, real people, real results. Call 314-500-5000.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Lights flickering?
Grasser can fix it.
Breaker keeps tripping?
That's a Grasser job.
Outlet not working?
Grasser makes it right.
Old wiring need a rewire?
Grasser rewires with care.
From little fixes to major fixes.
Even the tricky ones.
We treat your home like our own.
Treat? Did you say treat?
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeServices.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
From the gateway to the airwaves. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Well, some people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
In Kyiv, Ukraine, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. Along the southern border, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. At the White House, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. In St. Louis, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Tell me where in the world is
Griff Jenkins.
Watch your back.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I don't even know where in the world I am anymore. I wake up, I'm like, am I in D.C.? Am I in New York? Where am I?
Where are you today?
You're in D.C., right?
I'm in D.C. I'll head up later tonight, this afternoon, to New York, get ready to do the Fox Friends weekend stuff. But, you know, I got to tell you, I'm honored to be on today with a litany of my colleagues, not only Shannon, but I was listening to you guys talk to Bret Baier this morning, and I thought it was a great interview you did. And you know, it made me remember, because you guys were talking to him about the government shutdown and, of course, the release of the hostages and how much of a front row seat to history he has. And I thought, you know, me too. In many cases, I was on the actual literal front lines when it came to, you know, things like the border and riots and hurricanes and the wars in Iraq and Ukraine and all that stuff. So great interview.
It's pretty amazing. And I have to tell you, I played that bite from Kamala Harris there where she said some people have said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president, because sources tell me that those some people might well have shared a spin class with you in downtown Georgetown at some point.
That's right. Listen, Doug Emhoff is, of course, the second dude, whatever his title was, But he used to do a lot of Soul Cycle, and he would ride next to me. And I ride like right in the front on the front row. The instructors love me because I bring a lot of energy. That may shock you.
No,
whistling
I can
and
see
carrying on. And in the early days, it was quite apparent he had no idea who the hell I was, because we'd be after class, he'd be like, "Hey, that was great class." Like, "Oh, thank you." And in fairness, he's a genuinely nice guy, but I think as the campaign got underway, someone must have clued him in as to who I was, because he became less friendly and didn't talk to me as much.
He picked a different bike in the back row and tried to get away from you, huh?
Yeah, I love by the way that soundbite you play in that same set of remarks. She also leans into this, saying it's in the closest election in our lifetime, and that same somebody or someone needs to clear in and say, "Hey, psst, that part's not actually true." Actually, it's the furthest from the actual truth when you look at both the Electoral College, where you lost every battleground state, and the general, which you got creamed.
Well, why is she allowed to get away with that? Like if Walter Mondale had said, "I just took part in the closest electoral election in American history," I mean, people would have laughed him out of the room.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it is interesting as she's out on this 107 days book tour. I saw on social media a clip where she was, talking to the crowd somewhere, and the far left progressive folks turned up to heckle her and disrupt it. It's like, that's just got to frustrate her to no end.
Sure.
Hey, have you heard anything about this military exercise they're doing out at Camp Pendleton in California, where they've got the liberals freaking out? They're doing a live exercise, and of course they're saying they're doing it because of the No Kings protest this weekend, that they're just trying to intimidate us. But 15,000 people, including the vice president, going to be there for this amphibious assault that the Navy is going to put on, a demonstration. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I heard a little bit. I don't know a lot of the details, but I will tell you this, that literally out in California, in San Clemente, where a retired Marine lieutenant colonel lives, who is one of my closest friends. I keep a couple of surfboards at his house.
Nice.
And as a retired Marine that works in a civilian capacity on Camp Pendleton, I have been going there forever because it's one of the best beaches in Southern California to surf if you're tied to the Marines in any way, because you can park right on the break. And so we park right there. Well, now Pendleton, of course, runs literally from San Clemente all the way down to Oceanside. I mean, it's miles and miles and miles. And, I can remember numerous times over the past decade when there were live fire drills.
Yeah.
And this may come as a shock to the far left protesters, but we actually need to do live fire drills so when we go into actual battle that they are prepared for it and they have areas for it. And so this is obviously going to be something a bit stronger than what we normally see, but it's not new, and it's appropriate because that's what we do. Secretary of War Hegseth has made it very clear he is transforming the military, including the Marines, to be war fighters, and first and foremost war fighters and nothing else. And this pretty much plays into that playbook.
Yeah, is that Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North you're talking about?
No, not Alan North. That would be a bit younger Samuel Pelham.
Okay, all right.
Served in Iraq, but I bet North could probably get me on base too if I could sweet talk my way in there.
Well, and of course Newscomb is having a complete meltdown over it, saying they didn't communicate enough with us. We may have to shut down I-5 because of it.
Live fire exercises all the time out there.
Yeah,
it's just
and
more liberal. Nonsense.
They just a fear factor, right? How they can turn a military exercise into a crisis, right?
100%. You can, on any given day, drive from San Clemente south towards Oceanside and San Diego along the I-5, and just to your right, as you're driving south, you have full view of the Pacific Ocean, and at one point, a long, sprawling mock urban combat setting where every day Marines are training for urban combat because of the years of the Iraq War and Afghanistan, and they're down there doing that. I mean, it's just not no one's shocked to hear gunfire or things exploding.
So, Griff, before we run out of time here, I have to ask. You're covering this Jay Jones story I saw earlier on Fox, and they had that debate tonight for the Virginia Attorney General's race. Yeah. And I think to myself, the fact that Dan and I were talking about this, the fact this guy hasn't been forced to resign after tweeting that he wanted to murder a Republican legislator and his 2 children is pretty amazing. And then I remembered Ralph Northam. Remember that? The governor in Virginia who was found in pictures of him were found in blackface, and he wasn't forced to step down either.
Well, and I think so. There's a couple of things at play here. You shockingly still have not had, and no Democrat leader has stepped up to. They've condemned political violence, but they've refused to call for Jones to bow out. But looking right at you, front runner Democrat Abigail Spanberger, she has chosen to not do it. And in my theory, both in the Northam and then now in this, is that this early voting in Virginia had already begun when this broke. And so you can't, if Jones bows out, there's no way to just replace him with another person on the ticket because the early voting's already started. And I was pointing out in my head, more than 557,000 Virginians have already cast ballots. But I do think, in the hit I did for Fox and Friends, literally as I'm sitting in the chair, seconds before I went on the air, I get Spanberger's press release that Obama endorsed her, and Obama is appearing in 2 statewide TV ads that start running today.
Wow.
Now, it's interesting to me because Spanberger has a 10-point lead, 52-42 over Winsome Earl Seals. That's a pretty comfortable lead, 10 points right now. So when I look at the Obama endorsement, which is feels like a little bit of a closer because we're less than 3 weeks out from the election, I would tell you this. If Spanberger wants to tell me she's worried about losing the election because of her Attorney General Jay Jones's texting scandal without actually telling me directly, have Barack Obama, who won Virginia handily twice, to come in at the last minute and try and seal it. But it'll be interesting. I'd love to ask Barack Obama if he'll endorse Jay Jones as well.
Yeah, that's a great question. All right, we'll let you go, my friend. Thank you as always.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too, buddy.
You bet. Griff Jenkins there live from D.C. today.
And you'll see him on the D.C. on the Fox News Weekend Show.
Yep, as the new co-anchor down there. That's right. All right, we're going to get to a quick break. We'll be back in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
If you are on northbound 55, now's the time. It looks fine down south. Just a little moderate volume around Bayless. Same thing on northbound 270. Just moderate volume, although that's Doherty Ferry up through 64. 64 eastbound, a little bit of moderate volume at Timberlake Manor and on either side of 170, but that's it. And westbound, just a little slow past Clayton Skinker. 70 eastbound looks great. No delays through North County. And we even look good on the Illinois side at this hour and on the bridges. This report is brought to you by The Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Something to think about seriously is retirement when you are, well, gosh, it's best to think about it when you're truly young and you can start saving. But if you're getting closer to it, these thoughts start to occur. Okay, wait a minute. How do I know that this money can last me through my retirement? And also, what if something comes up in retirement? And how do I get the most out of my taxes? It's a totally different way of life, and you've got to prepare for it. You've got to have a written retirement financial plan in place. This is what makes sense to me. Well, it also makes sense to the people at Financial and Tax Architects. They've helped people all over St. Louis with this. And their idea is let's teach people how it works, and then we'll see if they'd like to work with us. So go to a class they put on. It's called Retirement Planning 101. It's free. It's 2.5 hours. It's held at a nearby college. You have to register. So go to their website, F as in Frank, FTA-RIA.com, FTA-RIA.com, and take that first step. You're going to feel better.
Celebrating 25 years of 97.1 in St. Louis. Here's Jimmy Fela.
I'm nothing without you, 97.1 FM Talk, and America needs you more than ever. So congratulations on 25 years. We cannot wait to see the next chapter.
Hey, is your Generac home standby generator ready for the next outage? Are you overdue for annual maintenance? Schedule an inspection today with Generator Supercenter and ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more.
A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents.
New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area,
this service is available through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews, and Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property with forestry mulching. If invasive plants and trees have overtaken your land, Missouri Brush Control will mulch vegetation where it stands with specialized equipment that is efficient and eco-friendly. Selective land clearing like this can help you maximize your property's value. Enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. Check out our website or Facebook page for before and after photos and videos of our projects. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com. That's MissouriBrushControl.com.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The petition seeks to repeal the map just approved by Missouri's Republican-led legislature and signed by Governor Kehoe. They'll need 5% of voters from 6 of the 8 districts to sign it in order to make the November 2026 ballot. Attorney General Hanaway explained her suit, releasing a statement saying that the Constitution entrusts congressional redistricting to the people's elected legislature, not to activist organizations bankrolled by undisclosed donors. If allowed to proceed, this effort would destroy faith in our elections and set a dangerous precedent for where outside interests could override constitutional order.
So there you hear a couple stories here. Number one, in case you missed it, the Secretary of State yesterday approved a petition by people who want to put on the ballot a repeal of the redistricting. They want it to be voted on by the people next November, whether or not Missouri expands District 5 at Emmanuel Cleaver's district. I mean, it's already done now, but they want to basically put it on there. And Catherine Hanaway says you can't do that. She's gone to court to try to block this. But they are now they're now legally allowed to gather petitions. Okay. They have until December sometime to get the number of signatures they need. They claim they've already got 100,000 signatures. And Denny Hoskins says, well, that's nice, but no signature gathered before I approve this is valid.
So
over. Now they got to start over. They're disputing that as well. Like there's nothing these people won't dispute. So they're disputing that as well, and they're going to be out there trying to get you to sign a petition that would put on the ballot something that would challenge redistricting. The left is in complete panic mode. Their years and years and years of gerrymandering in all these big blue states has backfired on them because they backed themselves into a corner. There's nowhere else for them to go. And if this Voting Rights Act gets changed and they have to give up all of those forced minority-majority districts in the South where they've pigeonholed a tiny little area just so they know they'll be guaranteed to elect a minority there, the Republicans could pick up 19 or 20 seats in the House in the midterm elections.
And the Supreme Court, of course, heard that hearing yesterday on that very issue.
Right.
And they're leaning, I think, to say you can't use race as a reason for your redistricting boundaries.
The challenge with it is that if they don't release this decision until next June, then you're within 4 or 5 months of the election.
Yeah, you're right.
And getting redistricting changed that quickly will be a little bit of a challenge. So I don't know if that plays into when the court releases this decision or not.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it lands, for sure.
You know, it's funny. We've got one of our trolls on the YouTube page this morning has been alleging, along with Gavin Newsom, as the president calls him, that the military is about to bomb civilians in Southern California.
LA Times headline, I-5 may be shut down due to concerns over live fire military event at Camp Pendleton. I mean, this goes on every day. You heard Griff Jenkins, who surfs a lot out there, and he says there are live demonstrations, live ammo all day, every day at camp. It's a training ground for SEALs and Marines and Navy officers, and as well as for their naval, what do you call them? The sailors. The sailors all train there. So this exercise, by the way, is part of the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the Marines. 15,000 people are there to witness this amphibious assault, and they're going to have live mortar rounds going off. I mean, not live, not bombs, but the mortars themselves. Right.
The left is trying to claim this in the newspaper that it's all designed to line up with no King's Day protests to intimidate people. It's not like he's bombing the central square where they're going to be gathered. I mean, it's on the military base. There won't be any no King's protests on the military base. I'll guarantee you that. Never. Every day is something new to talk about. And tomorrow, Dan is going to move over into this chair and run the show because I'm taking a couple days off to take my daughter on a college visit.
And it's going to be Free Phone Friday. I need everybody listening to help out. Call up. We're going to have a lot of conversations about it because I need help. So.
No, you don't. It'll be great. All right. We'll have a great Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. All right, let's talk for just a minute about my dentist, Dr. Michael White. You hear me brag about him all the time. I got to go see him. I found out I got a little chip in my tooth that I'm going to have to go get fixed, but I actually